You could have heard this episode 48 hours early on our Patreon, patreon.com/indieheadspodcast. But joining us for as low as $1 a month, you'll receive episodes early, gain access to our Discord server, and get yourself an Indie Heads podcast sticker. All of our upcoming episodes we put on our Patreon 48 hours before it hits our public podcast feeds. But if you're hearing this through our Patreon feed, we thank you so much for your support. We especially want to thank our Real Ones patrons, Billy Becca Etienne, Jojo Mikowski, James Boss, Marcy Anime, Chance Holdup, Danny Mothman, Josiah Duncan, Jenna, Matt Cameron, Grant the Back of My Dragula, T. Christie, Charles, Tuck Clary, Nicole Rifkin, Tim's Discount Prices, Parker Gross, Lashun, Aaron Jagreeve, Jay, Rena, Ian, Matthew Taylor, I Like Books, Sarah Moore, Griff, Max Kapazinski, Mark Barry, Cal50, Chewing on the Labia for 6 hours like a steak from Cracker Barrel, Chris Wade, Midwest Maxwell, Jake Wald, Grant, Keep Autism Weird, Rob Marino, Max, Dylan, Zach, Gavin Freak, and Maze Farms. To become a real one, consider supporting us for $5 a month on Patreon, so you have a bonus episode every month and get a shout out at the top of the pod. Anyways, though, enjoy the episode.
Hello and welcome back to Pod Hero, our podcast series where we chart the highs and lows of the Guitar Hero franchise. I'm Natalie, and joining me once again, my co-host Gavin. Gavin, how are you doing? We're nearing the end of the initial harmonics era of Guitar Hero. One of the last beautiful moments we're going to experience in this long journey.
Yeah, I'm good. I have been on vacation this week. I took a long trip down to Waco, Texas, far from home, to visit some longtime friends. And I promise I didn't bring it up. I didn't talk about it once. Somehow I ended up at a used game store and we purchased Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rokk and played the co-op career. I mean, I didn't bring it up. I don't think they're aware that I do this. Nobody told them. It just happened, and I enjoyed it greatly. But we're not talking about that game yet. Also, we're a week away from the Xbox 360 store shutting down. So right. I've been going sicko mode and buying as many Rock Band 3 DLC songs as I can before it goes away forever. So shouts out Ministry, Jesus Built My Hot Rod, and all these, and like a bunch of fucking butt rock songs that like I didn't think I needed 10 years ago when I was excited for Doolittle to drop on the store or whatever. So yeah, it's been a productive week for me in the rhythm gaming sphere, I would say.
I need to grab Jesus Built My Hot Rod, so thank you for the heads up. But yeah, I similarly have I forgot to bring it up even as a thing. But yes. I mentioned last week as like a potential cliffhanger. I was I took a trip down to the beautiful home of American football, Urbana, Illinois, just this past weekend. And on the way, I found a fucking like guy selling an Explorer controller in Wisconsin, and I was like half convinced that it was going to be some kind of scam or that he was gonna like kidnap me or something, and he just turned out to be like a normal guy. So I'm that's on me for making assumptions. He like had me meet at a gas station. He was legit, and yeah, it works great. I decked it out, already like fired up some Clone Hero, played Guitar Hero, started a new Guitar Hero 3 campaign, and we'll get into it, but I feel like as an adult trying to make the leap from like 2 to that is like it's kind of weird. It's a little disorienting. I don't know how my kid brain processed it. Anyway, we have an array of folks joining us here today, as always. DJ Hero Matty in the booth, helping us with all the production stuff, but so with some other folks we got Grant back on. We're back to we've got a Wilkes reunion live on the podcast air.
The Terror Twins return.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm excited to be talking about Guitar Hero 2 because this is a game I actually fucking played. Last time I was out of my element, except for Godzilla talk and Werewolf talk and stuff. I actually am familiar with these songs, so I'm excited. And also, I just want to say shout out to my boyfriend Danny for amazing Pod Hero art.
Yes.
Oh yes. Yeah, we should talk about that. Yeah, it's very me and Natalie.
Shouts out. Truly, like, going from like fan art to now our official art of the series. Genuinely, like, one of the coolest things that has ever happened on this podcast. So, like, really genuine thanks to that. Before we introduce our special guest, we also, on my end, have joining for the podcast the first time, my lovely wife Abbie is sitting in.
Hello, I am entirely out of my depth, but I'm just happy to be here.
And it really isn't that what it's all about. It's Guitar Hero is about fun. It's about having fun with your homies. You're mostly here for like one song in particular.
One song, and I will give isolated comments on the others.
That's.
I need a one song.
I need a one song.
It's like the third one in too. So I'm just gonna be wrapped watching the rest of you guys for the rest of this time.
You sit in on the process this time, and that's what's important. And then joining us this week, our special guest. You know them from Dreamwell, where they do vocals. It's KZ Staska. Welcome to the pod.
I get to be the special guest? That's kind of hard.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Guest of honor.
Well, thanks
Guitar Hero.
Thanks for letting me be special, I guess.
You're the one who like actually like makes music and had the like enthusiasm to hop onto the bonus track. So I feel like you get that honor.
Real. I was like, as soon as you said bonus tracks, I was like, dude, hell yeah, I get to talk about Buckethead. That's sick as hell.
Hell yeah.
You're in the right place.
And we will.
We're going to that's the thing, is this episode is
already face palming.
I mean, I just heard Buckethead, and I feel I know what I'm in for to some extent. I don't know the full extent, but I hear that name, and I feel like a past life is speaking to me. A past life full of trauma is coming to the
definitely for sure.
Uncle Buckethead, who could experience who could.
Got it wrong twice.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Shut the fuck up.
We should note, KZ, that I am only on as a producer. The only Guitar Hero game that I have played like extensively is Guitar Hero 3. I have very little experience with rhythm games in general. So being on as producer, it's just I'm learning a lot about this series. I'm learning so many things. I didn't know until we began the series. I didn't realize that the first 2 to 3 games, it's mostly cover versions. It's mostly a band doing cover versions of the songs. It's not the actual masters.
Yeah.
So that's been a journey. Seeing the wild variations in quality, going from that's pretty accurate to they let that vocal take go through
to
like,
Jimi Hendrix cover
to Lamb of God.
The Lamb of God. I know y'all obviously talked about it, but that was so painful for me.
He sounds like Trogdor. He sounds like sounds like Trogdor. It's insane.
It was completely unbelievable.
But before we get into the subject that we've all already been bringing up on this episode, KZ, you mentioned you have like the history with the bonus tracks of this game. Do you want to get into your Guitar Hero history for us real quick?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I was I wouldn't say an early adopter of Guitar Hero. I definitely I played the first 3 kind of as they were happening, but I think the first one I had was 2. I would play 1 at like a friend's house, but I couldn't convince my parents to like buy it for me at the time, and eventually I got 2 for Christmas, and so that's the one I think I probably played the most. And I think it had like the most enticing soundtrack for me. Like, I feel like as my memory serves me, the first one was a little bit more almost like classic shit, and that wasn't really my vibe. This one had a lot more of like the metal tracks that were grabbing me in high school, so I really played Guitar Hero 2 a ton. And then I played 3 as well, which I don't know how hot this take is, but I fucking hate Guitar Hero 3.
Ooh.
Wow, that is a pretty hot take.
And I don't like the fucking boss battles. I think they're stupid. I think they're frustrating.
Yeah.
What, like, you don't like when Tom Morello goes
I don't think that my ability to complete the game should be hinging on my ability to play a song backwards. I think that's fucking stupid. So I hate it.
Yeah, fair
Hero
enough.
3. That's not what I signed up for. That's not what I trained for, okay? No one told me I had to play backwards songs this whole time. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't appreciate it. So yeah, I think 2 is definitely my favorite one. And the bonus tracks, my favorite one, Trogdor, was stolen from me. Apparently,
I'm so sorry. We had
really...
our one of our guests on last episode, Boo Cannon, specifically requested to have it sniped, and unfortunately, I'm a pushover.
Yeah, a gun was involved in this process. We were held at gunpoint.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's yeah. I mean, Trogdor was a popular pick, but I mean, the thing about Guitar Hero 2 is that the bonus songs are probably just as good as the actual set list. Like they spared no expense.
Well, Guitar Hero 2 particularly,
yeah. Guitar Hero 3 gets a little too I don't know, fueled by ramen. I guess Guitar Hero 2 I think hits
the polls of Guitar Hero 3 get like
balance.
Really esoteric at a certain point, but no, I 2 especially, it's like the mix of we've got a lot of our like familiar harmonics or harmonics adjacent guys and bands here, but there's also like KZ was talking about, I feel like there's like a really interesting kind of like number of bands from outside that orbit in terms of like, especially the metal bands, like, and the like metal adjacent bands are all like really interesting pulls in terms of people that you wouldn't necessarily like expect like as first pulls for these games, but are super interesting regardless.
Well, the thing I liked about the concept of the bonus song section is that at least at first it largely served as an opportunity to like showcase like local bands and stuff like that. And whereas like Harmonix is a Boston based company, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
They were like, I remember the first game had that song by the band Graveyard Barbecue in the bonus set list, and that band was from the same town that I'm from.
What the fuck?
Like,
no way.
They were they were from Hanson, Massachusetts. Wait. So I lived like down the road from those guys.
Do you know Brownback Johnson?
No, I did not. I didn't know anybody.
God damn it,
no.
Man!
But no, I remember finding them through that game and then going to their fucking MySpace page, obviously. And their bio said Hanson, Massachusetts. And I was like, hey, that's me. That's where I'm at right now. So I always just thought that was really cool. And yeah, as the series went on and that sort of concept became less and less the point, I think the bonus section got like less interesting.
Yeah, to the point where it's like outright abandoned after 3, basically. Like,
right.
Yeah, and 4, it's all just mixed in. But yeah, I mean, and we're also talking about the Xbox exclusive songs,
which that's going to be our first realm here. Just because I've been doing this long enough that if I stop now, it's going to be weird. Maybe I'll stop between seasons. I don't fucking know. KZ, off the dome, what would you say the music landscape and specifically the like rock landscape would be like without Guitar Hero?
Oh my god. I mean, I don't know, right? Because like Guitar Hero is the reason that I ever picked up an instrument, more or less. And like getting away from Guitar Hero a little bit, I physically learned how to play drums by playing Rock Band. The first time I learned how to like kind of isolate my limbs and not hit the kick and the snare at the same time every time was playing Rebel Girl on Rock Band. That's the first time I ever succeeded in separating my hands from my feet. So like I do think unironically like the game has to be at least somewhat responsible for like kids who were like, you know, kids at the time picking up instruments and starting bands in some capacity, right? So I do think it probably has a responsibility for learning about certain like older bands, gaining an interest in playing an instrument, like the tactile feel of having to do something that's at least shaped like playing guitar would like inform you to be like, I guess I could probably do this in real life, right? So I think it's gotta have something to do with people getting more involved in music again.
Absolutely. No, I mean, that's like also kind of like the same trajectory for me, right down to the whole thing of like going from like playing Guitar Hero like in my like elementary school best friend's like basement in like middle school to like eventually like having Rock Band be the thing that made me be like, oh, maybe I should like pick up drums for sure. Before we get into like the songs themselves, just because I have you on mic here, I mentioned your Soul experience. Abbie mentioned that she's not really doesn't have much background with the series, but you do have the really interesting story of like your one experience with Guitar Hero being that you would play it in like, I think like an evangelical like church thing and playing Shout at the Devil, which what is that about?
I don't know that was interesting, but yeah, it's just the church youth group had a video game console and a CRT TV they would hook it up to sometimes for like lock-ins and that sort of thing, and so I very badly played Guitar Hero and Beatles Rock Band on that a few times over the course of my pre-adolescence.
That's so fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Shout at the Devil, though. That's a really fucking funny pick.
It was a simple enough song that I could eke my way through it.
I wanted to say that also when I went down to Waco, I ordered every Guitar Hero game that I don't currently own to my wonderful parents' house, because if I delivered it to where I live now, it would be fucking stolen off my porch. So when I went down there and opened up the copy of Guitar Hero Metallica that I ordered, if you were at the Idaho Youth Ranch sometime in 2007 or 2008, I just want you to know I have your copy of Guitar Hero Metallica, the copy that you played at the Idaho Youth Ranch. So let me know if you were there at some point, because I own that.
It's going to be a thing where like we put out like a public call, we do the Metallica episode, that whoever can beat Gavin in Frantic on Expert is the one who gets it.
Yeah. You get an all expenses paid trip to the Idaho Youth Ranch.
It's so fucking funny that that's the like one St. Anger song they put on that.
I love it.
Is this a ranch where youths work, or is it a ranch for youths?
I haven't looked into it, but I assume it's like a summer camp. I'll have to ask Max. I just assume Max knows everything about summer camps. Yeah.
I think it's time we get into it. So yeah, as Gavin mentioned, last time we were talking about the PS2 specific original release of Guitar Hero 2, and we were following the order in that game. As we've been saying over and over and over again, the overwhelming success of this game meant that they were looking for every possible opportunity to start cashing in on it by this point, and that involved with the console generations changing over and there being a whole other like audience to reach, they remastered, ported it to the Xbox 360, and in doing so they added a bunch of other bonus songs that were not in the original release of the game. So we have a few of them here that we'll cover. We're not going to cover some of the like ones that like nobody really cared. We're not covering Pearl Jam's Life Wasted. We're not covering Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo.
That's a controversial one. Maddie had a lot to say about that one.
Yeah, there was a lot of Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo singing before you got
Oh no. But yeah, we're going to cover 3 of them. I do want to specifically make mention of, as Gavin mentioned, one of the weirdest pulls here is Deep Purple's Hush, which is like so funny to me because like going from Smoke on the Water, the most predictable one, to one that is basically half organ solo the entire time.
I love it. The 2 songs that I would just say are huge bangers are The Trooper and Hush, and nothing really about the other ones.
Justice for the Trooper.
Justice for the Troopers.
Shout out to Iron Maiden Pinball, which every time I'm playing that, the Troopers just blast, and it's the best experience of my life,
Yeah, I also have to make mention of the fact that there's a Rancid song in here. Not that we have to say anything about that or Rancid's people, but
it's not the one about the despicable wife, so who cares?
Yeah. But we are going to cover 3 of them, and I wanted to start by picking not only the first one that is in the setlist order on the Xbox 360, but one that I had a feeling would just be a gift for all of us. So we're going to start by talking about Toadies' Possum Kingdom.
Totals this whole time.
This is like basically like one of my like 1 or 2 like 90s like grunge alternative songs that I think are like genuinely like perfect, like note perfect. I don't know. I have like no notes for this. This is what an incredible song. I think the only thing that I'm going to share before we get into what I assume are like Gavin fueled Possum Kingdom bits is that one of the funniest things I found in my research was this song got delayed from being in Guitar Hero not once but twice. Apparently,
really?
They were supposed to have it in Guitar Hero 1, reached out to Toadies. Toadies were super enthusiastic about it, and then they were like, JK, we're putting in Pantera Cowboys from Hell instead. And like the specific thing in the interview was Toadies being like, I mean, it's Pantera Cowboys from Hell. Like, we can't really like compete with that. And then the same interview that came out in 2006 when the game first launched said that it was supposed to be in Guitar Hero 2 at launch, and they somehow just cut it from the game. So like Toadies got cut from Guitar Hero twice in a row before it happened.
Damn. Brutal.
Does it count as getting cucked if they aren't like fucking anyone else? They're just like getting rid of you.
I mean, they're fucking with Pantera in this case.
Yeah, no. But for the second one, it's like they didn't replace them with anyone. They just dropped the song. That's
they got cucked and then they got ghosted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Brutal combo. Yeah, this is like the best song ever, I think.
This song's amazing.
Yeah, I think there's a legitimate claim that this is my favorite song ever. Me and Grant have told this story 1,000 times, but growing up in Dallas, you would think, based on how much airplay this entire album, Rubberneck got, that they were like as famous as Nirvana in the 90s. Like they played every album cut from this like daily. Like,
sure.
It's I think it's a great album, but this song, man. It's perfect. Note for note perfect.
This song's awesome.
Yeah, there's no way I could ever be like subjective about Possum Kingdom. This is one of my favorite songs ever, favorite song of the 90s, just in general. Growing up, this was just like a classic to me. I heard this more than like fucking Stairway to Heaven growing up, and I like it a lot more than fucking Stairway to Heaven, let's be honest. But this was like the first song that me and Gavin learned to play on actual instruments and played in our punk band when we were growing up. We saw the Toadies live, and they did the entirety of Rubberneck front to back. It was awesome. I love the Toadies very much, and this might be their best song, maybe. I do like Tyler. I like I Come From the Water. I like all their big hits from this. But Possum Kingdom is just like perfect 90s rock to me.
I'd never heard this song when I was growing up. The first time I ever heard this song was when I worked at Whole Foods. Very briefly, our Whole Foods playlist turned into, for some reason, like a 90s like radio rock like station. I don't know who was responsible for that, but they played like every Sugar Ray hit on this playlist. A bunch of other just like kind of 90s and like very early 2000s like rippers. And I think like the first day that we transitioned to that playlist, this song played, and I'd never heard it before, so I didn't know anything about it. And I was hanging out, talking to my friend Greg, making pizzas, when this part was happening. And because it was like playing on the speakers kind of overhead, like you couldn't hear anything during this part. It was like the song had stopped and there was just silence. And just like hearing suddenly, with no warning, a dude starts screaming, "Do you want to die?" over and over again. We were both like, dude, what the fuck is happening?
If that happened in like a screenplay, like someone would be like, "That's way too cliche. Come on now."
And then, so we were like, what the fuck is this song? Like, what's going on? This like older, like I would say like late 40s, maybe early 50s, like very like punk woman was like, "Oh, this is Possum Kingdom by the Toadies." And I was like, "Cool, thank you so much." And the song never fucking played again. Never fucking
I was
played
gonna
again.
say, can you imagine shopping at a Whole Foods and you're like trying to like pick out your dinners for the week, and you just hear someone over the loudspeaker just asking, "Do you want to die?" over and over again.
Meanwhile, the most jaded employee is just nodding like, "A just question, my liege."
Yeah, going from like this to like Sugar Ray would send me into a catatonic state if I was in the grocery store, I think. Like, that's a fucking crazy combo.
I cannot stress enough that it was literally every Sugar Ray single. Every single one of them. We never heard it again. It never played at Whole Foods again. Somebody sniped it. Someone was like, hey, we got to cut that one. That was too fucking crazy.
That's a shame.
That just gets to like, I can't imagine hearing this song, like, other than on like radio stations that specialize in grunge, where it's like, you're kind of getting it. Like, I can't imagine hearing this like in public in those kinds of situations, because it is like low-key like one of the most deranged like 90s songs that like is like a known factor at this point, in terms of just like kind of up there, I would say, with like fucking Closer by 9 Inch Nails, in terms of like this is like weird shit to just be hearing in public, just in, not even just in like the lyrical content, but also just in terms of like the structure being what it is, where it's this kind of like very kind of like almost kind of like bluesy progression for most of it, and then it kind of takes its slow build up into that like final stretch. It's just it's nuts. It's like insane that this is like the song that hit from them, but also like it makes total sense because the song fucking slaps.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. There's lots of the whole album of this is like a Possum Kingdom Lake is this lake in Texas that like it's haunted, whatever. It's basically an album of like ghost stories from Texas. But like structurally, there's no 90s rock song quite like this, unless it's like Tool, Schism. But this song is a lot more, like it's a lot more rockin' and pleasing to the ears than that type of messing with time signatures and whatnot. To me, anyway.
Yeah. This motherfucker doesn't know that the pieces fit. All right,
I know the pieces fit. I know the pieces
Look,
fit,
we're gonna learn all about how the pieces fit, why the pieces fit, who put the pieces where they are in a couple games. So
how they fall away. Yeah, no, this I love this. Like we talked about. This was in my when we did the '90s rock thing. It was in my should have been a number one, and it should have been like this should have been the best song ever. And this is a band that got fucked by the record label, so they have one album that people like, and then they put out their follow up in like 2002 or something, like almost 10 years after the first album. It's sad for the Toadies, but in Texas they're legends. They have a festival named after them. They got beer. They're one of the hometown hero type bands.
And I think they are reuniting this fall for a tour. So
I don't think they ever really went away.
Yeah, I remember seeing that they were like playing here, like I think like as recent as like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Oh, and since we're talking about the Guitar Hero angle to this, I want to say that this is one of the songs that me and Gavin will play on co-op, and because I always let Gavin play guitar, I'd be like, oh, I'll play the bass part, and this was the song for me where it was like, wow, I actually want to play bass as an instrument and not just as being Gavin's proverbial Luigi while we play Guitar Hero, because the bass on this song is so goddamn good. Oh my god!
I must be thinking of a different band. I must be thinking of a different band that recently reunited. It might
be
playing
with fucking Reverend Horton Heat.
Of course, they are.
Oh,
Texas
shit.
Legends.
I don't think it's Toadies. I think it's fucking who's the band that did In the Meanwhile?
Space
Hog. Yeah, I know there was some band that was on Gavin's Should Have Beens that just announced a reunion tour. So let me research. I do want to go way back though to a comment that you said, KZ, about the boss battles in Guitar Hero 3 being unfair, and how you're like, I shouldn't have to play the song backwards. Now, if you know your rock and roll history, you know that playing the songs backwards means a whole lot, because that's where you hear the devil and stuff. And, as you know, the devil went down to Georgia, and of course, in order to hear the devil, you got to play it backwards. So, think about that.
That's so fair. That is so fair. But that's got nothing to do with me changing what fucking hand I played my goddamn instrument with.
What if you listened to a Judas Priest song backwards and it was about having straight sex instead of being about the devil?
This is perfect foreshadowing to a bit I'm going to get into later on. Genuinely, actually.
No. That's awesome.
I'm happy to hear that.
Shall we?
I was going to briefly make a Guitar Hero point from this song, because it has a thing in the note chart that has always frustrated me about Guitar Hero. It's one of the least egregious examples of it, because this song is just it's like such an easier song. But it'll also show up again in Jordan, which is a much less easy song. A lot of times they'll notes, like they'll map notes that you have to play that like are not something that anyone is actually physically doing.
Yeah.
In this song, it's like those like held notes where he's really just hitting the whammy bar, you know? The now, wow, 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 wow. Like having to play those notes when actually all he's doing is sort of moving his right hand a little bit. It's like a precursor to a problem that I always had, where it's like, I know this isn't a dude actually fucking doing anything. Yeah. And it's so much harder for me because I have to do something that basically an effect pedal is doing.
Yeah. When we eventually have folks on who are well, also Slayer, but I was gonna say when we eventually have folks on who know more about like the Clone Hero community, I'm gonna get into that because that's like a gripe that I have with like a lot of like Clone Hero charters is that they'll do that shit like all the goddamn time, like they abuse the fuck out of it.
Yeah. Slayer is a good example too.
Yeah.
Because that solo is just like Kerry King sliding his fucking fingers around. He's not playing any fucking notes.
Yeah,
Why the fuck should I have to play notes? That's not fair.
And by the way, for the record, the band that I was talking about that reunited was Soul Coughing.
Yes.
Not Toadies.
Yeah.
No.
Soul Coughing that announced a reunion tour like back in the spring. So there we go.
Moving on to decidedly not 90s bands. This one is one that's a purely like, I pulled this for me before a certain something happened last year. Oof. And god damn it, I'm still going to talk about this, but Alice Cooper, I'm coming at you with like trans flag spray painted baseball bat. Like watch out. We're talking Belly Dollar Babies. This is a song I always have like a soft spot. It's an interesting Guitar Hero pick because there's not really much happening guitar wise. Like I'm kind of fascinated by the fact that they pulled this for the game, but like I don't know. I have like a real soft spot for this, and I like love the hell out of it. Not least of which because like he got fucking Donovan of all people to do the like back and forth on the like verses. It's just like being a shock rocker and pulling basically one of the most like docile folk rockers from the previous decade is like such an insane thing to do.
So how are you gonna spend 5 fucking decades of your life putting on so much fucking eyeshadow, so much eyeliner, so many wigs and lace fronts, legally change your name to Alice and be transphobic? Like, make it make sense, motherfucker. Alice Cooper seems like an asshole, and I don't know if I would want to be friends with him, but look, I like anything with Dracula vibes, so, you know, I mean, I was a big fan of him growing up, obviously, a lot less so now, but, insane pull for this one to be the one you get. Like, School's Out was in Guitar Hero 3, and No More Mr. Nice Guy was in fucking Guitar Hero 6. Like, how is this the first Alice Cooper song you pull?
Yeah, this is a crazy pick. This is for sure a crazy pick. Also, now I feel bad because, like, that was just, like, two back-to-back, like, kind of glowing adorations of this song. I thought this was fucking dog shit.
No, you're allowed.
I hated listening to this song.
The thing is, the only person you're hurting is Alice Cooper, which is good.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, fair. He's the mascot of our airport. I live in Phoenix, and he's the there's like cardboard cutouts of Alice Cooper all over our airport.
That's crazy. Did you ever go to his restaurant or bar or whatever it was called in Tempe?
No, that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, we're big fans of a band that used to play there when it was still open. Who are keeping shock rock alive. A band called the Chemical Clowns. We're huge fans of them.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, I own the only CD that they seem to have had. Like, when I say the only CD, I don't mean the only like released out. I mean the only singular CD, the only evidence that this band exists.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the One Ring from Lord of the Rings, and it's now in my possession, and yikes, but...
Yeah, I don't know about this song. It's, I mean, I respect a gimmick a lot. We know that. We talked about Kiss. Somehow Gwar never made it into a set list in these games.
Is Gwar not in Warriors of Rock?
I'm pretty sure no, right?
No. No, I'm surprised they didn't pull like "Sick of You" or "The Solomonizer" or some shit. I'm just listing Gore songs now. Themed bands are awesome. Alice Cooper.
Yeah, love a gimmick. Love a gimmick. But I want your songs to be just as, and Alice Cooper does, like, Feed My Frank, the Wayne's World era of Alice Cooper, where he was just fully, like, I'm a Frankenstein guy. I like that, but I don't know. 70s Alice Cooper, the songs are good. I mean, Ivan will kill me because I'm not resoundingly loving Alice Cooper, which I guess is something Ivan, me and Ivan just talk about Alice Cooper and Cheap Trick all day. I'm the guy on the podcast who likes the boomer stuff. I guess that's my role. But I defended Freebird when no one else would. But I don't know, $1 Billion Babies just doesn't do it for me. I like the other Alice Cooper stuff.
Abbie, you want to jump in?
I mean, you just like, if you're a 70s rock song, you're allowed Slicker Than a Weasel or Foaming Like a Dog That's Been Infected by Rabies. If you have both, that just looks sloppy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
KZ.
What is, when it says WaveGroup, what is that?
So
mean?
WaveGroup is essentially like the collective of musicians that Harmonix assembled to like cover the songs when they like didn't have the ability to use the master tracks, either because like the artist didn't give them to them or like the master track wasn't available. So it would be like people in Harmonix would essentially do their own cover versions.
Okay, so they're the motherfuckers responsible for the Lamb of God.
Yes,
shit.
they are.
Yeah, that is WaveGroup.
They are.
I'll just say, pretty solid Alice Cooper impression on this one. Not the best, not the worst. When I got to this level in the Xbox 360 version of this game, on this level, I would just go straight to Them Bones by Alice Cooper, or Alice in Chains instead of Alice
Different
Cooper.
Alice.
Different Alice.
Different Alice.
I
Totally
believe in
different
Alice
girl.
in Chains supremacy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're both in the same tier.
Yeah.
Double Alice.
Yeah, of the two, I definitely go for Alice in Chains over Mr. Cooper, especially nowadays. Even though he was an important figure to me growing up, but the hero worship is gone. I believe in Gene Simmons Supreme. No,
No, that's crazy. That is crazy.
But yeah, we don't have to humor Alice Cooper anymore.
No,
he's gonna die soon. We're gonna live.
We don't know that.
The trans people on this call are gonna live way longer than Alice Cooper. It's gonna be fine.
That estate sale is gonna go crazy at the fucking Cooper estate, though. Me and Gavin went to a record store once where they had one of his electric chairs, and so I just have a selfie of me in an electric chair. Yeah, one of.
Yeah.
It's not even going to be a proper estate sale, though, because Nicolas Cage is going to show up first thing and buy everything, and then just walk
me
away.
And Nicolas Cage are going to throw down in Alice Cooper's house like a Bayonetta fight. It's going to be fucking crazy.
This is just how you develop his like next buddy comedy. Is like he's gonna like encounter you and be like, "Whoa."
Yeah, he's going to hire me a son of long legs.
Let me in now, and it could be nice. Make me go now, and I'll have to come back. Not once, not twice, but as many times as I'd like.
There we
You should
go.
just play the Son of Long Legs. I don't give a shit. Like,
I don't get
so
this
like
bit.
do like some weird de-aging tech on him.
I could be the son. I mean, you just saw me. I could be the son of Long Legs.
the Son of Long Legs just looks like Nicolas Cage in Raising Arizona. No difference.
Oh, fuck.
Moving on to bands that have also taken like kind of freaky aesthetics at different points of their career. This is one that is we talked about this I think an episode or two ago, where we were like talking about how interesting like and strange sometimes the polls for like recent stuff would be in these games, and like contemporary
the modern stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of times it would be like a lot of modern metal and metalcore.
The Sword.
Yeah, The Sword and like Lamb of God and fucking Avenged Sevenfold. But like we were talking about how it like took them until like the Xbox 360 port of this to like get into like contemporary like emo and like alternative, like, and so it's just here we have like the one gimme I have on this episode for Abbie, My Chemical Romance with Dead. Yeah, this is what a song to pull for. This is like the like of all the MCR to do too, and it's a good pick too, but it's just it's so fascinating that like they were just like, this was the one where they would like have their finger on the pulse like this well. I don't fucking know.
Well, and they never play this one live anymore, so this is my vindication that Guitar Hero correctly recognized this is their best song, and threw it on here. Like it is an uncanny valley thing to just listen to the video, because the mix on this one is weird in this game. Like they mixed out the horns and the backing vocals to hear the guitar a little more prominently. And it's as someone who listened to Black Parade, like it wore it out in high school, that was a little odd to come to. Also, I should point out that we're going to have about 40 seconds of silence in the middle of this video.
I did say this to Maddie.
Should we just let the silence go through, or should we?
I guess.
Should I skip ahead?
That's not me for not actually watching these and just like throwing them into a playlist.
Have you ever seen like an old educational reel where they have like the pause for discussion? That'll be that for us. Look, growing up, I was not a My Chemical Romance kid. I will say this is easily the best of their songs I have heard. I actually really like this song and have since it was in Guitar Hero, but I do have a major issue with it, and that is, no offense to the emo kids that I grew up with and loved, but oh my fucking god, Gerard Way seems like there's a cat in the studio and it's biting his ankles as he's at the mic. He is like one step away from a Tom and Jerry youch at any given time. Like,
that's the charm. And then when he does do the youch, it's like it's been building there the whole time. It's a payoff.
To me, it's a little draining at times, but instrumental-wise, this is like the song for me. I genuinely do really enjoy this. I do think it is missing the horns. I get it because it's a guitar game. They have to bring it up, like the amp is in your ear, but that's such an important part of the song. So I find its absence to be kind of a missed opportunity. But this guitar solo shreds. This was a great pull, and it's a shame that they just never had this kind of juice ever again with these Guitar Hero games and getting modern bands in. Like, they were right on the dial when they got MCR, and then by like 3 and 4, they were pulling fucking Priestess and Airborne.
By the way, the song just paused.
We gotta think about what we've done.
Well, it's in the middle of the solo. I'll also say this is like probably the most successful of the whole Ray Toro aping Brian May for this album got, because it's the least aping Brian May of the aping Brian May stuff. Like, not that I don't like the aping Brian May stuff, but like Welcome to the Black Parade is just like, I'm going to do Queen, and this is much more like using that with like actually showing off on the solo in a way that is not just, this is what Queen would sound like if we got a little goth with it, which I appreciate.
Yeah, it shreds and it's melodic. It's not wankery, and that's why I enjoy
we're back.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I've got a confession. This is the first time I've heard this part of the song. Because when I watched this video and that happened, I just assumed that the song was over, so I moved on to the next one.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, it just ends on that solo. Oh, that's crazy.
While we're here, because we got to do a little bit, I had like an interesting progression with like MCR as a kid, where it was like, I'm pretty sure I only heard Welcome to the Black Parade for like years. That was like the only song of theirs that I'd heard, because I think it was like a fucking iTunes single of the week, and so like I had downloaded like a free version of it that basically like cut the intro in half. It was bizarre, and like that was the only thing I'd heard from them, and I was like, oh, I like this, but also like emo music is gay, and was just like I like didn't really like touch it for like years and years, and I knew that this song was in the Xbox 360 game.
Back in the day, you'd be like, this music is gay, but nowadays you be like, this music is gay.
Yeah, no, now it's like a feature.
What was that?
Southern accent there.
What character is that?
You take your Cajun accent for a gay person.
That was a Cajun Matty's cousin. That was a Kentucky Fried Marty.
I think we have to kill that character immediately.
We're sending this character for the lethal injection.
That character under Freebird? You waited until this one?
He's going to bit prison. I'm taking him away right now. He's going away.
Oh no!
This backlash is implying that there aren't Kentuckians who enjoy My Chemical Romance, and I just want to say that is actually really inconsiderate of you, and you're erasing a whole demographic here. So I'm on Maddie's side here.
Shout out to 9/11. I'm just kidding. during it was the 2000s number ones when we talked about Black Parade. I didn't have nice things to say. No nostalgic attachment.
Rachel Millman ate your fucking lunch and asked you what you do.
Yeah, look, that shit sounds like an anime theme song, and I don't fuck with it. And this song is also still kind of bad to me. I don't like this.
I've heard maybe like 4 My Chemical Romance songs, and I think they're all kind of booty. So I
get it. They're in the same camp as Linkin Park to me, to where I completely understand how this could be someone's world back in the day, but it was not my world because I was dumber than you. And you just have to accept that.
Yeah, the factor for me was realizing, like, getting into them, like, as I was, like, starting to become gayer, like, right at the precise moment of, like, the gay inflection point, and that's just kind of like, oh, okay, I get this now.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you miss it, if you miss it at that inflection point, it can be kind of a little weird to return to, especially, like, at, like, a certain age. I don't know. When did were you like into them as a teenager?
Abbie? I was. This was pre-gay, but in the middle of liking musical theater, which is basically the same thing. So it worked out.
Oh, if you like musical theater, you fucking love My Chemical Romance, for sure. That makes so much sense. Yeah.
They have such distinct theater kid energy, but I was just talking about this in our podcast Discord, but the most ranted energy to me is what I describe as a theater kid doing a British accent core. And the My Chemical Romance don't get into that. For me, sometimes they get close. Like, I'm Not Okay. I will always hate that song just because that is like the embodiment of everything that I did not love about this kind of emo. Well, that's unfair. Everything by Panic at the...
You know what? I like the song Teenagers. I like the song Teenagers.
Is good.
I'll say that. I think that's a pretty good song. Saints Row 2. But it's not for me, and it never was. I like No Effects because my brain is diseased and terrible. You know, that's what I was listening to.
Gavin, would you like this song better if you imagined a bunch of skeletons playing it on instruments? Because that's what's going through my head when I hear this song.
Yeah, maybe if it was like a rockabilly psychobilly, if it was the fourth psychobilly song in this game for no reason.
It's a psychobilly Black Parade.
Yeah. Please don't look this up, Maddie. I don't want to listen to it for real. I don't. We can't listen to
it. Even exists.
We can't listen any more goddamn rockabilly on this podcast.
There's no rockabilly covers or psychobilly.
But we're gonna get to some rockabilly later this episode.
Oh fuck, are we?
You're never far from rockabilly when you're in Guitar Hero.
Shit.
Eddie Knox looms. His shadow is cast so large.
Yeah.
Anyway, at this point, it feels appropriate to move on to. So as we mentioned, we're covering 2 different realms this episode. There were 8 additional songs for the Xbox 360 port of the game, but we still have not yet covered the bonus songs in the game, which basically is the main attraction to this episode. Like the bonus songs are a world unto themselves, and like kind of just like completely like they've become like the kind of thing of legend, and like it's an insanely good quality for mostly unknown bands or like at this point rising bands. And to the point where not only are we dedicating most of the episode to it, but I had to like actually like think about and like cut a bunch of these that like I would have like loved to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
And so before we get into the songs themselves, I wanted to like do a quick rapid fire round of some highlights. I kicked to the curb Radiumize by Count Zero because it's a solid song, not really much going on, not much to talk about. We talked about Count Zero, they're like Boston bar band mainstays, like good little like kind of weird, kind of twangy pop shit. I also almost put on Voivod's Extreme, which is like such a weird pull. Like you're going to like pull from like this like very technical progressive thrash band who has like a huge history in the 80s, and then put a song from 2006 that is like nothing going on in it. Mm-hmm. Like anyway, also, one that I almost put on here, Shadows Fall, The Light That Blinds, mostly because that was one that like stuck out to me in the day. I gotta talk about the fact that Buddy Nielsen from the band with the guy with the infamous like dreads like that stretch down to the floor and supposedly weigh 10 pounds. In doing research for this episode, I came across an AMA that he did, and there are like multiple people asking him like how to grow dreads, and he basically every single one is like just saying, hold on, let me find the exact wording here. But it's something like you gotta smoke a lot of grass and listen to a lot of reggae. It's it's just basically the only, he's like basically copy pasting the exact same phrasing. Let's see. Two others I want to single out. Megasys Red Lottery. I like the Megasys title track that is, I think, DLC for the first Rock Band. This one's fine.
Correct.
Not really much going on. Brian Kanahek, Gemini, good little instrumental jam.
Yeah.
Not really much to talk about there, but I like that song quite a bit. And one that I want to end on, purely because, KZ, we have you here. Do you know what FTK by Vagiant is actually about?
Is it not the Giant?
No. Okay.
What?
So,
I thought it was the Giant for sure.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Giant, or as they're now called, Tijuana Sweetheart, or since we're called, because they're now defunct, but like mostly female band from Harmonix. But they have a song in this game called FTK, which is actually an abbreviation of the explicit version that is fuck the Kells. And it is in the game they just say frick the Kel, frick something like that. They like do like some substitution. KZ, what if I told you that because they're a Boston band, that song is about how the bar that then became Tavern in the Square in Boston used to be a like male-dominated frat bar.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
This is like purely going to be legible to only Boston listeners, but like
insider baseball, insider Guitar Hero.
Yeah, this sports bar in like downtown Boston, right outside of fucking Brayton Music Hall, is like the venue that's like right across the street. That used to apparently be like a frat bar rebranded to like a very kind of like image friendly bar called Tavern in the Square. Frequently abbreviated as Tits, closed down like a year or two ago. So RIP Tits, but not really, because like it just kind of seemed like a shitty place.
Oh, it was still, yeah. I mean, I don't know if the rebrand helped it. It was still a fucking nightmare. I used to spend a lot of time in that area because not going really to shows at Brighton Music Hall, but like right down the road from there it used to be a really, really dope strip of vegan spots. You had FOMU, which was vegan ice cream, and then there was Grasshopper, which was vegan, Pan Asian food, which is like the last one to finally shut down in this little strip. And then there was a pizza shop called Piece of Pie. So I spent all my fucking time there. It was sick. And now the property managers have managed to drive all of those businesses out of that strip, but you would have to walk by the Tavern in the Square, and it was always a fucking disaster. It was just like the worst fucking, like, definitely just still like fratty, like townies hanging out on the street. And like, if I recall, that bar didn't have like walls. Basically.
No, it was like
so it was like it was kind of like, it was
like fully open like windows and like deck seating.
Yeah, like as if it was a giant patio, basically. So everything that was happening in there was happening outside too. So it was a fucking nightmare. I'm with the Giant on this one for sure.
Shout out the Giant.
Hashtag I'm with the Giant.
But
FTK. F tits would not have had the same ring to it.
No.
But we do have a bunch of these that we're going to get into. Last time I built up to the first winner of the Be a Guitar Hero contest, which KZ mentioned was Graveyard Barbecue with Cheat on the Church. This is the only other game that the Be a Guitar Hero contest was there for. I guess they put the song in the game, and then after Harmonix ended up going off and doing their own thing, it kind of just disintegrated and never became a thing again. Although I like to think that this song is what single-handedly killed it.
Yeah.
This is one of the most egregious things that we're going to talk about this episode. This is the Last Vegas. This is Raw Dog. This is a nasty fucking song. This is like, I can't believe like they're like, yeah, let's get the like song about like unprotected sex as like our like big highlight song, like our focus song for the bonus tracks. And it's like, it doesn't rock. There's nothing cool about this. The guitar is just whatever. It's like, who cares about this shit? Who's like,
oh, the song is boring as fuck.
Yeah. Natalie, I feel like I should point out your hypocrisy, because not to spoil the ventures we go down later in the series, but your favorite song in the history of Guitar Hero is technically in a way about unprotected sex, but, but in a very weird, roundabout, hidden way. But no, this was like the peak of like shitty Dane Cook type comedy with like awful Wolf Mother type, but like I like some shitty like, but even in this playlist, there's some shitty like penis rock music that I like. But God, this sucks and is so not funny and is aged so bad and it's boring. I don't know. This type of rock died with I don't know.
The whole 80s like fucking sleaze rock like revivalism thing is like, I don't know. It never sat with me. It never appealed to me because it's like, that shit is so obviously dated when you hear it like actually from the 80s, and all of the revivalism is just like a watered down version of that somehow. Or so it's like you're already fucking kneecapping yourself, you know? Yeah. Like you're trying to reverberate something that already sounds like it's washed up. And so you're hitting the ground running, just like kind of sounding fucking boring and dated. I've never understood the appeal of it.
It's either you water it down like this to where you just do it, or you like Steel Panther it and you think you're taking it to an extreme that it becomes satirical, but like it's just not. Like you're doing like comedy rock and it sucks. Like it's not funny and it doesn't sound good to listen to. I don't know, man.
I think there's a thing about when you play it so straight that it just sounds wrong. It makes me feel like this song made me feel dirty to like listen to and play and like have on my iPod when I was like 12 years old. And listening back to it this morning, I was like, I feel dirty for having listened to it. The like line in this part of the third verse where he's like, I've got a bitch in every town. It's like, come on, like what are you doing? Like you're not being cool. This is like the most like playing to the like bleachers that you could play with this genre.
Well, and even then, like if I'm in the bleachers, I don't particularly want the part where he explicitly talks about how she's gonna give him a clap. Like I would try to avoid that if I'm sitting in the bleachers.
This shit is nasty. Like this sounds like music that they would play on Daisy of Love when they're showing like a montage of Daisy being hot. Like I don't understand the type of person that would like actively seek this out and listen to it. I mean, divorced dads need music like while they fix up a car in their garage that they're never going to drive, but I will never be able to relate to that mentality, so this just does nothing for me except repulses me on every level.
Yeah. Well, it also like comes off as just so inauthentic, because at least like when a band like Poison is writing about like having like girls backstage at every show, like I believe that Bret Michaels was slamming ass worldwide, you know? I don't think that the Last Vegas is going on tour and like pulling fucking roadies, you know what I mean? Like you're just talking shit. You're just like making shit up so that you can sound cool on the fucking song, but like back to it sounding watered down, like I know that you're just kind of full of shit, you know what I mean? Like there's no like authentic sleaze. Like you're putting on a character.
You're fully playing the notes they're expecting you to hear because you think that this is just like what the genre does instead of like actually like saying anything. It's no. Yeah. This is an instance where like the song is so boring that I was like, okay, there's got to be something interesting about this band. And I found some interesting stuff. I found the fact that their website as it stands right now very proudly totes that they were as seen on Peacemaker,
Oh my god.
Oh, that makes so much goddamn sense.
So there's
one
that.
of two bands that we'll talk about.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, one of these songs was in Peacemaker. Pivotal scene.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. How could I forget? This is a brother band. The guitarist and the drummer are brothers. Their debut album is one of the nastiest things I've ever heard, so I'm gonna say it here. It's called Lick 'Em and Leave 'Em.
Ugh.
That's good.
It's funny you mentioned Buckcherry because one of the most prominent tours I could see for them is they opened for Hinder in 2013. They literally have a fucking page on First Avenue, the venue network by me, and that's like the last show of theirs that is listed there. And then also on their website, to go back to the Rob Halford thing we were talking about, they have like photos of them, and there's like a photo of the lead singer who calls himself fucking Chad Cherry, and he looks basically like the straightest version of Rob Halford you could ever imagine. Like full like leather jacket and like straight chains and like full paraphernalia, but like singing about the straightest shit you could possibly imagine. It's like, who are you fucking fooling? Like, what are you trying to prove with this?
Mm-hmm.
Has no idea that he's secretly dressing up as a Tom of Finland character the whole time.
Yes.
Again, inauthentic.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just going to speculate that these aren't actually brothers, and they're just a couple of very gay men, and this band is their beard, and that's why.
It's their white stripe. Their white stripings themselves.
If that was the gimmick of like a Steel Panther type band, is that they're all like obviously gay men who sing songs about like having straight sex and how much they love like that. I mean that might be the best band of all time, and I encourage someone. I encourage someone to do that.
Yeah, steal our ideas, please.
Yes, please make a glam metal band. Please, 4 gay men get together and make a glam metal band and sing about how much you love women.
And you have to insist that you're brothers. That part is key.
I would also appreciate the bit if they pretended to be a brother band, but the last name of the family was Las Vegas. I would like that.
Yeah, I actually would like that too.
If it was good. Like Eddie Las Vegas, I think that would be very funny.
Mm-hmm.
In this like fictional band, their last name does have to be Pussy Slayer, something like that.
Yeah, no, they all need nicknames, like CC DeVille or whatever. That can't be his real name, right? I don't. Why am I talking about members of Poison? This song does not deserve. This song was written in like 2 minutes. This song was written in less time than it took to record it. They thought, wouldn't it be funny to write a song about unprotected sex? And it doesn't.
This song was written at the Guitar Center.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. They're like, please stop singing about it. We're trying to sell children Epiphone SGs. Please stop singing your Raw Dog song. Fuck. Yeah.
What happens when the spirit of Scott Weiland and Anthony Kiedis possess one body at the same time? You get this.
Yes. Yeah. Fuck. God,
and then they banned us from the Guitar Center. Was that just the one location, or was that the whole store?
Yeah, they hold the record for being banned from most Guitar Centers. Definitely. This song probably doesn't deserve this level of scrutiny. Congrats on winning a contest. I'm sure you made some money.
Winning the battle of like public attention, I guess, is what they won the long game, I guess.
Yeah,
but we don't have to talk about them anymore. They can't hurt us anymore. What are they gonna do? They're gonna like use their like Peacemaker sync money and gonna go off and like tour for some other like major arena band. No one's gonna like pay attention to them when they do their opening set. It's fine. They'll put them away.
Yeah.
I do just want to say, as the capstone, because we've mentioned their first album was Lick 'Em and Leave 'Em, on a suitably conclusive note, their last album, which is from 2016, is just called Eat Me. And
Jesus,
a better bow than that.
Yeah.
A more mature sound for this band, I assume.
Yeah. I want to see the press release where they're like, the Las Vegas puts together a surprisingly mature sound.
They're really
album, like 6 albums in.
They're really confronting their own mortality on this record.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the most miserable job on earth, is having to do PR for the Las Vegas.
Oh man.
I want to talk about stuff that does not make me feel as miserable. So let's move on. The rest of these are going to be in accordance with how they're laid out on the like actual set list, alphabetical by song name. So we're going to start with Arterial Black by a band that we skipped over on the first Guitar Hero. Or I think they had a different name in the first Guitar Hero.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't remember
one of the metal bands that that Harmonix members formed called Drist. This is another one I've always kind of had a soft spot for this one for like a while. I don't really know what it is, but it's just, I think because like in my brain this was like the earliest, like most primitive form of metal that my brain could process and like as a 12-year-old not into metal. And I don't know, just something about the guitar tone is like cool. I don't know. I don't have much to say other than the fact that this was like the weird song that like back in the day I felt like united everybody I know who was like a fucking GameFAQs forum member in terms of the bonus songs. It wasn't like any of the ones that we'll talk about later. It wasn't like Elephant Bones or Less Talk More Rock. It wasn't fucking Jordan. It was weirdly this song. Like this song was like the thing that I saw a lot of people rally behind.
This song feels like of all the bonus tracks that are like not shit like, you know, Every Time I Die or Buckethead, where it's like a small unheard of local band. Like this is the most like professional sounding song I feel like by a pretty good grip. Like it sounds super competent. Like the recording quality is really good. Like the songwriting's good. I would listen to this over Avenged Sevenfold, which is like obviously kind of what it's trying to bite. Yeah, I would choose this any day.
I think you cracked open why I liked it because I was the kid who like really was into Avenged Sevenfold but didn't like most metal.
It's Avenged Sevenfold tone, but with like just 10% less like theater kid shit, so it's less sickening to me.
Yeah, no one's a dwelling place for demons in this song.
It's also lacking like M Shadow's like weird like nasal tone that's like sneering like this.
Yeah.
This is also like the only one of these songs that I would go so far as to say has good lyrics on this playlist. Like the whole imagery of the mountain and sleet, and this is nothing to be embarrassed. I guess Dead's lyrics are fine, but like it's very theater kid, and this is also theater kid, but like it's more respectful.
You know what this feels like? This feels kind of Mastodon-y almost.
Kinda, yeah,
a little bit.
I was gonna say this feels
I really
like...
love the like.
But go ahead.
The chorus riff. That chorus riff is really cool.
Yeah, the chorus riff,
nice with it. Yeah.
You say Mastodon, I say WWE entrance music. Which, but like, I don't mind that. Like, it's cool. It's of the era. I think, this was like the middle schoolers' favorite pick back in the day for bonus.
Yeah,
songs.
This was like the pick that you picked from the bonus songs to be cool as like a middle schooler. I think this is one of the ones that like literally like some of the other ones I could see through like that they were like Harmonix bands or whatever. But like this was one of the ones where I was like, this kind of had me fooled. I like kind of was like looking at them and I'm like, this looks really cool. This seems like a real band. I also want to offer a quick addendum and say that I was wrong and they were still named Drist during Guitar Hero. We're
probably thinking of someone else.
I was probably thinking of someone else. I'm gonna like do some clacky typing because I was gonna bring up the fucking loading screens because I realized I have not been talking about, and there are like specific ones for each of them.
Yes,
there's nothing interesting for this one. There's nothing interesting for Raw Dog. Oh, actually, there is an interesting one for Raw Dog. I'm so sorry. The following song is by the Las Vegas. For best results, play at maximum volume, especially in the presence of authority figures or the elderly.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, that's what's up.
Nathan Fielder outside the police station ass message right there.
The Las Vegas is the icing on the cake there because it's like that's not actually even in their name.
No, it is.
Oh wait, is there oh my god,
that's terrible. They should just be Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Stupid. You can't even get the fucking like the bit
pun.
right.
Yeah, they fucked up.
That's our actual last laugh. Is like we're talking about a song that is better than fucking Raw Dog, and we're still shitting on Raw Dog.
Yeah. How many goddamn 80s like cock rock bands have "the" in the name? I can't think of like any. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's so easy to lose that, right?
Yeah.
Rat didn't, Poison didn't, Motley Crue didn't. Like, Scorpions weren't the Scorpions. They were just Scorpions. You fucked up.
Maybe this is Convergent Evolution and they don't actually think of themselves as an 80s cock rock band and think they arrived at this sound on their own.
Actually, that's like, I don't know. It's
like Plato's cave allegory, where if you give a bunch of white men guitars and they get horny, they just become rat.
That's true. They eventually come up with Poison. They eventually write Talk Dirty to Me.
I guess speaking of I don't know. I don't have anything
Speaking of horny.
Here. Speaking of horny, I guess I don't really. Is this song horny? I don't really think it's horny.
It's like lamenting like horniness in a little
yes.
bit.
Yeah, condoms and Twinkie wrappers. We're getting really into the heavy hitters here.
Oh my
it's
god!
Not Handsome Devil. It's Elephant Bones. What a fucking song! Like, what a fucking poll! Like one that like. I just remember like being 12 years old and hearing this song for the first time and having no idea what I was hearing, but just being like completely blown back. And like to this day, like I mentioned this when we talked about some like local bands in the first Guitar Hero when we were covering bonus episodes. But like that Handsome Devil was a band that like I like got into while I lived in Boston. Like they were a band that like I went to fucking shows for, like just for like the bit and just being like it would be cool to do this, like having the upbringing that I've had. And it's like so wild because like even after all of this I'm still like, yeah, this is like one of the best tracks. It's just like, I don't know, there's something about just how specific and bizarre a lot of the lyrics are. The fact that like they're basically maybe one of the only bands I've ever heard that like manages to use fucking like royalty free music well. I'm pretty sure that drum roll in the intro is a royalty free thing. What a strange pull that like totally pays off.
So this is my favorite song in the entirety of Guitar Hero 2. I'm not even joking. Like, I played this song so many goddamn times when I was a kid.
This song it's a really fun one to play.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I love that Handsome Devil. I was introduced to them in Rock Band 2 because I had that game before I ever played Guitar Hero 2. And this solo, not in the album version, but still sick. I love this band. I love this song. I was introduced to them via Rob the President, which is a song I assume will be got to at some point.
Yeah, the eventual like foregone conclusion Rock Band series, we will be talking about Rob the President because Rob the President is one of the most insane songs in any of these games.
I would argue it's not even the most insane song by a harmonics band in that game. Well, we brought up Get Clean so many fucking times, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about this crazy ass song about how it's so sad that cavemen can't fuck anymore or whatever. This song is. It's that Will Ferrell clip about it's provocative, it gets the people going. This is the coolest song ever. This is what cool sounds like to me. They're like if Rob Zombie never found skeletons and Draculas and stuff, kinda. And that as much as I love skeletons and Draculas and stuff, sometimes a pair of fuzzy dice can be cool, and that's what that Handsome Devil gets. Like if they took all the swag that Social Distortion thinks they have with this whole like retro like greaser highballer in Vegas type beats, I genuinely love the song.
It helps that God Forbid just kind of looks like that. Like he's like one of the things that having like seen their social media from time to time, I'm gonna make sure this is the correct one. I found like a few like clips of them from like back in the day that like I like saw them post on social media. He has that kind of like grungy look about him. He just looks like somebody that you would like find on the street who like just woke up and is just like wandering around town. Like that's just kind of the aesthetic he's going for. And
can you educate me on something for a second?
Yeah.
Is there, I don't know enough about this band. There's a man named God Forbid?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the best band of all time. This is so sick.
That's a great stage name.
I'm gonna send our Twitter chat video that has never left my brain since I saw them share it on Facebook.
I want to shout out Chris Barely March, who did our theme song for this series, which is very good. But he also posted a very funny message, which is the clip from Elvis, the "He's White" clip. But he said me when I first listened to that Handsome Devil. Very funny. What is this?
All right, let's turn it up really quick.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's Summer Clean Tips with THD.
Hey kids, it's your pal God Forbid here with some summer cleaning tips. First, you want to make sure you have the best ammonia. You know what? Ah, fuck it.
Oh no!
Oh no! He's drinking the
Fucking
Windex.
poison, you heathens.
That's great. He's out on his
Yeah.
fire.
Why does he remind me of
escape.
Fred Durst?
Yeah, kind of. That's kind of Fred Durst behavior. Yeah, I love
Nat,
Elephant Bones.
I
It's a good
assume
song.
you have the loading screen for this song.
Oh yes, this
Thank
is the
you.
loading screen.
This is the
I'm
loading
going. I'm going to read it in full. Here we go. Dizzy from the fumes, white-knuckled, holding the wheel hostage, a dirty old Cadillac barrels toward hell with a brick on the gas pedal. That
Literally,
handsome devil.
literally Black
Gripping the
Sunshine.
wheel, his knuckles.
Yes,
like,
it's literally just the intro to fucking. Why am I blank out the song name? Jesus
Black
Christ.
Sunshine.
Black Sunshine. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great song. I mean, one thing I will give the Harmonix employees is that they could have been the most generic bands ever, but man, they're diverse. They're a lot of them are really fun. I mean, and this is the tip of the iceberg in regards to crazy. What the fuck is happening? Shouts out. I mean, we'll talk about MIM later. Yeah, we'll keep moving on.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this is, to Gavin's point, this is a really wild, like, pick for, like, especially for, like, That Handsome Devil, which, like, is kind of, some songs are definitely more guitar heavy, and, like, this one is, I don't know, it's so fun to play because you have, like, the little push and pull between the verses that are, like, just kind of nice and breezy, and then it picks up a little, and then the solo kind of gives you a little workout while all being really fun. I'm going to share one other post that came across when I was just searching, it didn't send. For That Handsome Devil content earlier today, just for the first pick here. It's just very typical, like, rock star behavior, but, like, I don't know. So something about, like, seeing this here is just like, okay.
oh, that
Sure.
Dude, that jacket is so sick. You could tell how gay I am because I went straight to the jacket instead of the boobs.
Look at those boobs. Those are some good boobs.
Good job, Matty.
Yes.
I'm just saying what's on everyone's mind, okay?
But yeah, That Handsome Devil rocks. City Dressed in Dynamite is genuinely a really good album. That's all I got. Great stuff. Are we good to move on to our next pick?
I think it's time.
I think so.
I think it's time. I'm going to kick it off by I'm going to play a little number for you.
Oh my god.
Here we go.
Oh wow.
Can you play John across on Zoom? It'll come across on Zoom. It'll come across.
Can you play
edit.
John the Fisherman?
We're just doing a South Park bit now.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Here's the thing. This is not like, because we're talking on Zoom right now. I cannot hear shit on Zoom, but I assume when I edit, I will hear all the clicking and clacking whenever I go do the edit, like tomorrow. So that bit will play much better to you listeners than it will play to us the podcasters.
Yeah. Anyway, we're at, like, one of the most infamous things in the game. So much so that song made specifically for the game. The song that kind of didn't necessarily, like, put this person on the map, but, like, definitely put them into the public consciousness more, I would say.
To the hearts of little boys and girls everywhere playing Guitar Hero.
We're
the most important member of Guns N' Roses.
Yes, right. That's fucking right.
Whoa, Bumblefoot. Let's give Bumblefoot the respect.
Oh God! Is it?
I mean, guitars suck. Guitars suck.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking Buckethead. We're talking Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan.
You knew it was coming. I would just like to start by reading off, before we even talk about the song, I just pulled up the Buckethead Wikipedia page. He performs primarily as a solo artist, although he's collaborated with a wide variety of artists such as Bill Laswell, Bootsy Collins, Bernie Worrell, Iggy Pop, Les Claypool, Serge Tankian, Bill Moseley, Mike Patton, Viggo Mortensen, That One Guy, and Skating Polly, member of Guns N' Roses from 2000 to 2004. He has written and performed music for major motion pictures, including Saw 2, Ghosts of Mars, Beverly Hills Ninja, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Last Action Hero Falling, and contributed lead guitar to the track Firebird featured on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie soundtrack.
Fuck yes.
Fuck yeah.
This is maybe the biggest living legend that we're going to talk about in the history of Guitar Hero. If I'm being,
no one has a better resume than that.
No, this is also not the only artist who has been in Saw that we're talking about this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
But this song is pretty. I don't know. Buckethead is never my thing because I've never been into like the kind of like effect-driven, like squeaky squonky like guitar stuff. I think I was more as a kid. Like I remember having some tracks from fucking Enter the Chicken on my iPod, mostly just because the Serge Tankian track and the like Saul Williams track on that album go fucking hard.
Unbelievable.
But like
that Serge Tankian track is still one of the coolest fucking things I've ever heard in my life.
I read it back and there has never been more of a like this is just what a random person thinks of like Serge Tankian like as a parody like but actually complimentary like track I've ever heard. I don't know. Of the like kind of like noodly guitar songs I've heard of Buckethead, the ones that aren't like guest features, this is honestly probably one of the coolest. Like melodically, it's one of the most interesting. I try to re-listen to Nottingham Lace for this, and it's just like it's the sloppy seconds of this song. It's just like nothing but like wanking solos and like basically trying to jack a similar rhythm and like melody. I don't know. This shit is insane. I could never play this as a kid.
No. This is a nightmare. An absolute fucking nightmare. Some of this song is a more extreme version of what I was talking about on Possum Kingdom, where a lot of this song is just him using a kill switch, so he's not even actually like playing a note. Like the middle part of the solo where everything cuts and it's just like this like digital hell noise, which is like virtually impossible for a normal person to play in this game, is just a lot of like string scraping with fucking kill switch, you know? So that part's like a little frustrating, but on the other hand, a lot of this is him just being an absolute fucking shredder. So you're still kind of fucked even without the kill switch.
I think the day will come where I decide I need to listen to not all of the Buckethead like mini albums he put out because there's like 2,000 of them or whatever.
Yeah, he's like the guided by voices for like.
Yeah, I was gonna say as a
shop at Hot Topic.
As a guy who has listened to like all the Guided by Voices albums, and I love this song and I like a lot of Buckethead. I think he's an interesting guy. I have listened to Not to Bring the Mood Down, but the two albums he put out after his parents passed away, which are legitimately so sad.
Yes.
So one day I will listen to all of them. Sad, beautiful music, but I don't know. I just what a guy who performs with a chicken bucket on his head. Like he has to have like one of the best lives ever. He's like a master at playing guitar. Nobody knows or really gives a fuck who he actually is or wants to know. Like I mean, he
no one cared who he was until he put on the mask.
Exactly. When I was in middle school, Buckethead hit my life like a fucking truck. You know, I've listened to so many of his goddamn songs. One time my mom got onto me because I bought so many Buckethead songs on iTunes that I was running the bill up.
That's awesome.
I hate KFC fried chicken, but I one time begged my mom to take me to KFC so I could get a bucket so I could have a Buckethead costume for Halloween.
That's crazy. We should ask for a clean one.
I also was Buckethead for Halloween.
Oh my god.
This is the sole reason, like, not the sole reason. This is, like, one of the main reasons. KZ, like, told me this in, like, DMs, and I was like, okay, we need to have you on this episode.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, I did. I had a full Buckethead costume Halloween freshman year of high school. It was the first time I ever had KFC was so that I could have a bucket.
Wow.
Fuck yeah.
I had never had KFC prior.
How has he never struck a deal with them?
Get a family-sized bucket. I bought like a Phantom of the Opera mask and like a wig from fucking Party City.
That's right.
And I wore that shit to school, so I was Buckethead in school.
Wow.
There exists somewhere a picture of it, but we could not find it because we think it's on my like dad's hard drive, and nobody in my family talks to him, so we could not access that.
Lost media.
Truly lost media is me dressed as Buckethead. It was I can picture the photo in my head very vividly. The bucket was a little bit too small for my gigantic head.
Oh no.
I fear. But I fucking made it work. I made that shit work.
WWBHD. Awesome. What would Buckethead do? He'd make that shit work.
He would make that shit work.
That's right.
So I'm Gavin. I'm making this joke like 5 minutes late, but of course you compared him to Guided by Voices and more like Robert Poultry.
Because of chicken. I get it. That's good.
There we go.
Do we think he just walks into KFC and like snags a bucket off the rack and walks out with it new, or is there like a decades-old layer of chicken grease on his hair that, like, if you tried to remove it, it would kill him?
I feel like he's got like a relationship with like a KFC manager or whatever, like that supplies him with like
inside deal. They like they get
the factory. He's got a deal with the factory owner, like, hey, just like every like couple thousandth, just send it, just ship it to my house, I'll reinforce it and all that stuff. Although it'd be very funny if he's been using the same one for like 30 years, and so like, if you ever like you're just working in the music venue and you're just like, all right, like you're getting set up, and then you go to the green real quick just to just put everything down, or just like, oh, I forgot to give this water bottle to the band, so I'm gonna do that. And you walk in, and it's just the stinkiest. It's like chicken and like hair that hasn't been washed in however many days or weeks or years. I just imagine the smell.
Every time he's smelling like those 13 original spices.
every time he walks into a KFC, he orders the chicken, and when they go to get a bucket, he whips it off his head and is like, "I brought my own."
just imagining the guy you're training at the plant where they make the KFC buckets, and like your supervisor is like giving you a tour of the plant, like how the production line works, and they're like, "Okay, so we put all these here to go to the KFC. What's those for? Oh, those all go to Buckethead."
Maybe he's a franchise owner.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past. It's entirely possible.
Finding your boss stealing buckets, and you're like, "So what's that for, boss?" And he just like does a deep sigh, and he just whips out a guitar and fucking shreds for you.
No way. This is all building to a thing, which is Buckethead is apparently doing a tour in the fall and like is playing a show by me, and I'm like, I kind of am like, what if I flex this like podcast to the PR person and get in for free and get a pick with Buckethead? Like, what if that's the culmination of this?
What is Matty pulling up?
I've pulled up the doctor. I pulled up. I was curious. Like, is there a KFC effects pedal? And lo and behold, there is at least there is a KFC themed effects pedal.
Oh, it's cool. Got KFC from branding on it. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, didn't Guitar Hero do a KFC meal for one of the later?
Yes.
Yeah. Why didn't they get Buckethead? Buckethead, this is his only appearance in these games, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's crazy. That seems like a missed opportunity.
Like, he's like a guy who seems made for these games. Like, you would think that they would have like an exclusive licensing deal where it's like, okay, Buckethead, make a song for like, especially like Warriors of Rokk, where you want like, in theory, like the hardest music that you could possibly have for like the culmination of the series.
They should have got like Buckethead and Les Claypool and fucking, I don't know, some fucking drummer, not Travis Barker. He was the first name that came to mind, but not him.
We all know it'd be fucking Chad
not Chad. You need some. What the?
There is a video of the doctor.
Please don't play this video. Nah, dude.
Work as an artist in residence.
What?
I think it's just a boost pedal, is what they were saying.
Back off.
It seems pretty boring.
But it's still very funny that it exists. And I hope that Buckethead has it. He should.
I mean, maybe that's why he hasn't done any like sponsorships with KFC. He thinks they put out shoddy musical product.
Wow.
I mean, just like their chicken.
Wow. I think I can almost see Buckethead as being the type who like wouldn't want to be that involved with Guitar Hero in a way, because he's like a true fucking freak, Like, I almost wonder if that's part of why they gave him a song he gave them a song that's like not actually even really a song.
Yeah. Well, okay, because I thought that this song was commissioned for the game, but apparently it was something he was just playing live, and
it was like his hype up track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they just like apparently were like, "Hey, you should record this for this," and so that was that.
I know we've been
Jordan
talking
after Michael Jordan
about fucking Buckethead a lot, but I just want to say real quick to like these like Steve Vai and like other Joe Satriani type guys, like, if you want to be less fucking boring, you could shred your damn heart out. Put on a funny mask or something. Like Joe Satriani, you should dress like an alien, put some little gleep glorp tentacles on your head or something. Find a gimmick, and maybe you'll get popular like Buckethead, and you won't just be something that like guys with ponytails at Guitar Center talk to you about when you're looking at fucking Epiphones, you know?
Yeah, Joe Satriani would be cooler if he actually made himself look like the Silver Surfer.
Yes.
Yeah. They just have no fucking swag at all.
No, they need swag.
And like for me, like Buckethead like appealed to me more than just like listening to like the songs. I loved to just watch like the weird like quote unquote home videos that he had on YouTube, where he was like talking via like a hand puppet.
Yes.
Instead of like out of his stupid fucking voice and just pretending that he was like this weird like interdimensional creature. Like that's sick. And then that just like supplements like what is otherwise, I mean, largely pretty cool shredding guitar music, which is like one of my least favorite genres of music. Is just like the solo guitar player shit. But like supplementing that with like this image I have of just this absolute fucking freak behind the axe, you know, it makes it so much more interesting. You know, when you take that away and you just give me fucking Steve Vai, it's like, what am I investing in here?
We joked about what the Long Legs sequel should be, but I want to posit that it should just be Buckethead instead of like it's just some guy who's just you can't talk to him. He won't talk to you. He comes up to you with the mask and the wig and the bucket, and when you try to talk to him, he just starts shredding and communicating purely in like guitar taps.
He's like, if
instead of a bunch of dolls, it's the chicken that he's working
into. He sends you chicken a bucket of KFC possessed by the devil.
Yeah.
The Colonel like starts talking to you and telling you to kill your family.
He's a fascinating character. We've been talking about him a lot. I'll make this brief, but he's like if Svengoolie, Steve Vai, and Shay St. John all possess the same body, and I think that's the appeal of him.
Yeah. Shout out Buckethead. I think I came out the other side having a like much greater appreciation for Buckethead. So like this is kind of a beautiful playlist in a way, in that like aside from like a few candidates, I'm vibing. I'm having fun. We're gonna keep having fun. The next few songs are next couple. We stop having fun after like 2 songs here. But this next one, I'm gonna do a public mea culpa here. I almost didn't throw this on here. I did not remember this song much. I did not really play this song much as a kid. But running it back just to make sure I didn't miss any songs that were worth talking about, I was like, is this song secretly like really great? Like this might be like one of my favorites just in the game, period. It's the Acro-Brats, it's Laughtrack. This is an interesting one because I mostly just associate the Acro-Brats in terms of like harmonics bands as the band that had Day Late Dollar Short in I think it's Rock Band 2.
Rock Band.
Yeah. First Rock Band. Yeah. But like I remember really digging that song and just not really like knowing this one that much, but something about this is like platonic ideal of like kind of like very like rough voiced alt rock that feels like it could be like made for a fucking like sitcom opening theme. Like this is like the best sitcom opening theme that has never been used for a sitcom, is like my way of thinking about it.
I can hear this in like the 10 Things I Hate About You soundtrack for sure.
I was gonna say Malcolm in the Middle type beat.
Absolutely.
I had the exact same journey as Natalie with this song. I went through like 2 weeks ago and I was like, I'm gonna play all the fucking Guitar Hero 2 bonus songs just because it's been a while. And like this video, it has like no comments. Nobody thinks about this song ever. And then I was like there's like one comment that's like 2017 anyone? There's one comment that's like 2021 anyone? And then nothing else. Like no one cares about this song. And then I was playing it and I was like, whoa, this is like a really well written like poppy punk song. Like and I think it might be one of my favorite bonus songs in the game. Like it's just
a couple times listening back to this like this week, I kind of got like weirdly emotional and I was like, I don't understand, like it has that like very weird like pop punk affect that you're talking about where like it feels like bittersweet in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I genuinely, I never played this song not once before I started listening to this playlist, and not to get insider baseball with our podcast, but I've been making a playlist of like kind of nostalgic pop punk alternative music similar to this in honor of an artist I'm not allowed to bring up on this podcast just yet, that I've been texting this entire time we've been recording, but
oh my god,
I really dig this song. It gives me like the vibes of, I know we've said sitcoms, but also like Adult Swim show that I would not be into, but also really like the theme of, if that makes sense.
Yeah, this has big like cheeseburger super gel intro.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Wow, great poll.
But yeah,
I mostly know that song because of Skate 3.
So do I. Dear Man of Dark Woods. Remember that guy?
No.
Yeah, no, that's one of the characters in Skate 3 that nobody remembers. That's okay.
But yeah, I don't know. This is this is one of the reasons that it's been like a joy to do this series genuinely, is just like coming back to like songs like this that I wouldn't have given the time of day, and being like coming at these games from a different perspective, being like, wait, this song that I like never just even thought of is like one that is like really appealing to me in a way. And again, it's like, I think because it is like such a like thing apart from some of the other stuff, like you go through these bonus songs and it's a lot of like very weird sexual
hard
aggro rock music,
yeah,
and like metal and that kind of thing. And to have a song like this that is just like such an earnest thing is like, I don't know, I feel like I'm like staring into the face of God in a little bit of a way, because I'm just like, I'm here to make my silly jokes. I'm here to do like, just to have fun with my little plastic guitar controller. And this is like a band that is actually like, seems like actually committed to like the music in a way that is just, I don't know.
You know, this is not a conversation to have in the middle of this episode, but it's like, it's rude to, because the lens I viewed these bands has been like, oh, these are the harmonics bands. They're whatever. Like, they're not the real bands.
Yeah,
that's a rude framing to view these bands. This is a real band. Why don't they deserve to be treated like that? You know, treating them like nepo babies of Guitar Hero or whatever. You know, it's like, this is a good song, and it's in the game, and I'm glad it was. You know, it's a bonus song, and you know, they're allowed to do that. They made the fucking game. They should be able to put their whole albums in it if they want. I don't care. You know, It's more songs. Who cares? Good song. I like it.
My only real note is that it's very disappointing that the Acro-Brats isn't like a Riot Girl band.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can bring the Acro-Brats back if we just trick all the gay Charlie XCX fans to listen to them, thinking it's like a like extended universe thing. Like,
yeah.
I feel that bit was beneath me. I'm sorry. Let's just move on. I'm disappointed in myself.
Kamala Harris played Guitar Hero.
Oh god.
Hey, let's get Joe Biden. If you want to win the presidency and come back, you must beat Jordan on Expert.
Anyway, we're not getting into this. We're not doing much of a prelude for this next one.
You know what it is.
Like, yeah, you know what it is. If we're talking about like Guitar Hero 2 bonus songs that like people know and love to like a degree that have like their inclusion in the game has like basically become their legacy. We're talking Freezepop. We're talking Less Talk More Rock. I know we talked about Freezepop with Get Ready to Rock on the first Guitar Hero, but like this was like the shit to like 12-year-old me in the sense that like I was not really like a synth pop kid. I was a very big like I want my rock and roll music with guitars, and I like the classic rock that they play on the radio sort of kid. And so like I don't know, this was like one of the first, I think, like synth pop songs that like really kind of like just actually kind of was appealing to me, just because it like really kind of upended my expectation of what it was. And also it's just like this is just such a fun fucking song to play in this game. Like the way that really the fucking intro ramps up and like basically sounds like the song winding up into gear and like teaches you how to play it essentially in real time is like, I don't know, it's so fucking cool. Like it's incredible. And like I mentioned, Freezepop was another like band that like when I lived in Boston, ran into, did stuff with occasionally, interviewed them for Alston Pudding, shouts out. But like when they hit this part of their like one live show that I saw, it was just basically like you could feel the entire room come alive. Like regardless of people's familiarity with Freezepop, it's like this song just made them feel like a big band. And I think that that's like incredible. And again, like speaks to like what at their best these bonus songs can do is make these bands feel like more than just, oh, these are the developers' bands.
Yes.
This is handily my favorite bonus track in this game.
Hell yeah.
I fucking like this song. Is so fucking sick.
It's a shame no one ever put this.
I love a gay little synthesizer, but like I think it's still like surprises me how much like higher in standard I hold this song to some of the other songs in this. Maybe not even in just the bonus track list, but like the game as a whole. This song is just really, really fucking good.
Yeah, this is genuinely like probably like top 3 in the game, period. Like not even counting, like not even restricting it to bonus tracks. Like yeah, I think for me it's like Tattoo Love Boys, Who Was in My Room Last Night, this I think are like my 3 essentially.
It's a damn shame that they didn't get this onto the desk of David Lynch before Twin Peaks: The Return, so they could get Freezepop in the Roadhouse, because this,
oh my god,
this would have rocked at the end of one of those episodes. Yeah, I actually did not play this one either that much when I was a kid, but the second this started playing, I was like, oh, this looks so fun to play. I totally get the appeal of this.
Yeah, tying it into Guitar Hero, any song that lets you play most of the song just by like doing hammer-ons, like most of the song can be played with only your left hand, is some of the most fun that you can have in the game, in my opinion. And this song like really fucking lets you do that shit.
Mm-hmm. It's weird because this feels like more fun to play from like a synth angle, playing it on the guitar controller, than the actual keyboard controller that we later got in like Rock Band 3.
Yes.
Like I would prefer doing this with Freezepop.
It feels like more of an accomplishment, like more satisfying.
I'm just picturing David Lynch saying Freezepop all the way, and it feels healing.
Not to rain on the parade, and I'm not going to because I don't have bad things to say about this song, but revisiting it for this series, I did realize that I do like Get Ready to Rock more than this song. And that's just because it scratches like the Sleigh Bells 2010 itch in my brain that I have. I mean, this is I straight up, dude, this is one of the most fun songs to play in this game because of the hammer-ons. It's like the Grateful Dead DLC for Rock Band, where it's all hammer-ons, and it's so fun to just move your hand back and forth playing all these notes. And it is a good song. It's a great song, but I do like Get Ready to Rock more because it's just kind of noisy and, you know, distortion-y. Mm-hmm. I'm a rocker at heart, and that song's more of a rocker than this one. This is a great song, though. I do love this song.
Yeah, I love this song, but it also does remind me of the Tim and Eric sports sketch.
Oh my god, it does kind of sound like that.
But that's not a bad thing to me, because that song is also great.
It's funny that you say that, like, you like Get Ready to Rock more because it reminds you more of Sleigh Bells, because one of my only, like, notes that I made for, like, listening to this was that I love Freezepop and I fucking hate Sleigh Bells.
Well, then that makes sense why this would be your favorite song.
Yeah, no, this... I feel like we'll eventually, because if we're doing Rock Band eventually, we'll talk about Brain Power as being in there. But like of the songs that ended up in these games, this is like handily my favorite of theirs. I think just because, I don't know, like the other songs like get the appeal of the band, but this one just like feels gargantuan. Like it feels, and even like there was a period where like before the one time I like saw them live, I like listened through their albums, and even just like among their catalog, it's like they have a lot of like really just like fun pop songs and like good melodies, and like they're good at like doing these kind of like sardonic forms of lyrics, where it's like even just listening back to this today, I didn't even realize that like most of the song is just basically like what it's like to go to a house show 101 is like the lyrics. Mm-hmm. But like it's like something about this song, it's just like that this one shining moment where they're like, okay, but we're gonna make this sound like as big as it can possibly be.
I like that it's not the big rocker. I think the thing that's good about this bonus set list is that they often don't pick the songs that are the big rockers are bad and they're cock penis shit, and the ones that aren't are typically pretty good. And I do like that they did that.
Has a really, really brief note, because it's the second time that I've thought it. The newspaper at the end of bonus tracks where it says "at the Rat." Has anybody brought up that was an actual Boston venue in like the 80s that was very prominent for like underground music?
I forgot about that.
All right, well there it is. That's
wow.
it. The Rat was a real like it was effectively like you could think of it as like the CBGBs of Boston in the 80s.
Hell yeah!
I have an uncle who talks about going to shows at the Rat all the time.
Shout out uncles. We love uncles.
I was gonna say that sounds like an uncle-ass venue.
It does sound like an uncle venue.
Because we're about to venture into less enjoyable territory, I'm going to close our discussion on this by bringing up the loading screen on this, which is one of the most unfortunate loading screens in the game.
Yeah.
It is simply throw your undies on the stage, no wait, you're underage, which is a lyric from one of their songs, but like removed from context, it's like just
a Spinal Tap thing. It's like, oh.
Yeah. But our time for having fun is over. We had a glorious shining moment of like talking about Freezepop and having fun. That's over now. We're back to the cock rock. We're back to the fucking bad sex songs.
Yeah.
It's the time for fun is over.
Why is this in the menus? Why is this song in the menus?
Why is this in the menus? This is the Amazing Crowds with Mr. Fix-It. This song will not leave my fucking brain. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I hate the fucking twinkly piano like accompanying the guitar lines. I hate like everything that this song is doing. I also hate the fact that one other reason to hate it is looking this up. They apparently, I think it's their Wikipedia page, but somewhere describes them as let's see here, hot and fast concoction of punked up rockabilly.
Their Wikipedia page says that.
Payback Live review from AllMusic. So like an actual music journalist said that.
Fuck you.
Yeah, that's repulsive.
There's not a faster way to get me to not listen to your fucking shit than that.
I would also like to point out that this is one of the like some of these bonus bands, like the local bands, the harmonics bands that we're talking about, are ones that have they're kind of like contemporaneous. They're ones that are basically like making shit like in the process of making these games, and it's like songs that are included as part of like current albums or like upcoming albums. And like some of these tracks we mentioned with Elephant Bones, but like also with like Less Talk More Rock, that's like a version of the song that's different from the album version. It has like more kind of parts for you to play. This is not the case. This is a band that had been around in Providence since like 1993 and had like a fucking history. The album that this is on, which is their last album, is from 2000. They got their start. Does anyone want to guess who they opened for as the first band they ever played with, or first artist they ever played with?
I'm Cracker?
Is it the Reverend Horton Heat?
No, but it is somebody in this game, and it is fucking Dick Dale.
What
oh my god!
Oh my god!
For
sure. Yeah, this is I don't know. We still haven't actually started.
Yeah, Maddie's not paying attention.
Yeah, let's just hit play. Let's just hit play on this. I've not heard this yet, so I'm very.
Oh no!
I'm really intrigued. So we'll see.
What song is this aping directly?
It has to do with the piano. I think it's like some fucking like, it almost kind of like the piano thing makes it feel like kind of like that like fucking Elton John like piano bar rock sort of.
Yeah, it's aping any song you ever heard in a fucking commercial in the 90s.
I think I just clocked it. I think not this part, but the verses are pretty vacant by the Sex Pistols.
Yes.
Oh god. Oh.
And this is a bad hook. This is a bad hook.
Yeah. So this song it's another like gross horny song.
Yeah.
But as opposed to Raw Dog, I think I hate this song more than Raw Dog. And I think that's because Raw Dog is at least just like kind of disgusting and sleazy. This song like is doing the sleazy horny song in the way that they did in like the 50s and 60s.
Yes.
Where it was like sort of tongue-in-cheek and like trying to fly under the radar, which is just so fucking corny.
It's
especially in
this is Dark
50s.
Side and Stray Cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say this is literally an Extends commercial song. But, not in aesthetics, but like in like the way like it's like a smiling guy on a golf course. It's so lame.
I hate the way he says, "Now fix this."
This sounds like they got like a local plumber to sing about how he'll fix your pipes, and then they were like, "No, we could make this a hit. Let's make it about sex." And they just did like a quick lyric change.
Yeah.
I hate that you said that because you've given me an intro to say the worst thing that I wrote down, which I'm going to say on air, which is this is just a song about doing responsible, safe sex with all the puffy girls in your neighborhood.
Oh God!
Shut up!
I want to die.
Shut up! Shut up!
Terrible. You should kick me from the call.
This song sounds like it was written. This song sounds like it was written to be on Spike TV.
Oh my God, Mansers!
Like this could be the theme song for Mansers, and it would not be out of place.
Wow, that's all that needs to be said about this song. Fuck.
Yeah, I've got nothing else to say. I don't even want to humor these guys.
That's the meanest, most accurate thing you could say about this.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's not give the amazing crowds any more attention. That's
wow.
Great timing.
That's wow.
Manser's tight beat. That's devastating.
That was so good. I closed my page of all the like bonus songs on this. I was like, we're done.
Yeah.
We can stop recording.
Fuck.
We're free. But we're not free. We're not free. Not. We've got to talk about one of the we're going to talk about one of the groups of guys that it's frankly kind of insane. I don't think we've talked about them on recording.
Yeah. How dare you talk this way about a band that we are all active members of?
That's true. Yeah, we're all in this band.
Yeah, this is, I can't believe we haven't brought this up yet at all, like, on a recording. We've talked about them in the Discord a lot. One of the, like, iconic songs in this game, but purely for, like, what is going on with this band? Like, what is happening with this band? We're finally, oh, shit,
we've totally forgot.
Oh, yeah, no, we did edit the playlist. Yeah.
I forgot that.
This is Wikipedia's fault for not understanding how articles work.
Yeah, okay, never mind. Forget it. We're sidelining that for now. We're going with a KZ pick. So I had FTK and Radiumize in here at first, and I substituted them out because I'm like, let's talk about something more interesting.
Yes. A real band.
So yeah, as we mentioned, there are a number of like metal and metalcore bands in this track list who some of them Boston area and some of them also just like rising. But yeah, we're talking about one of the big ones. This is Every Time I Die with the New Black, which I did not even fucking realize was in this game until like I was running back for the series, like because I never touched this song as a kid, but it was like in scrolling through this, I was like, that can't be right. This is a bonus. Like, what is this? Weird. Why is this here?
Yeah, it's very funny that like this is a snapshot of a time where Every Time I Die was not like the biggest band in their scene, like on the fucking planet. Mm-hmm. You know, that they would be a bonus track on Guitar Hero. But yeah, this song was my introduction to Every Time I Die, who would become a very influential band on me. Like they are 100% what I was aping when I first started a band. I used this particular album, Gutter Phenomenon, to learn how to scream, which makes it all the funnier that I, at the time, hated this song and still kind of don't fucking like this song.
It is kind of butt rocky in a way.
It's butt rocky. Yeah. It doesn't have a cool breakdown.
Yeah.
Keith Buckley is singing like the majority of it, and he hadn't really dialed in his his singing style yet. Like he'd really figured out his scream style by this album, but he hadn't really like locked in his singing all the way yet. So like it kind of shows, you know, that he's still sort of experimenting with that, and I don't think that this song is a great representation of what they would go on to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's interesting because I feel like part of why I didn't really vibe with this as a kid was this wasn't the like brand of metalcore that like hit my like 12-year-old unformed brain in the way that the other like dumber, stupider, goofier metalcore that I did like back then did. And I think I cracked open today and I kind of started coming around to this song in a weird way because I was like, this just sounds like a Hot Snake song.
Yeah.
I don't like this at all. Like, I like, this is not my genre, but I will believe that this is not like the best representation of them because this sounds like you're listening to like the Black Keys and someone is screaming in another room.
Yeah,
like
I
a little
that.
bit. That was very much like part of Every Time I Die's like identity as a band in the earlier years of them was like they were basically playing like party riffs, but like the lyrics kind of made it clear that nobody was actually having fun, which was like kind of a cool dichotomy of like it's like high energy kind of party songs, but like underneath the surface everybody is actually like suffering. But they also just did that way fucking better on other songs. Like the other most prominent example of that is their song Werewolf, which is just a way fucking better song than the New Black is. It felt like they were trying to do the same thing, but they just did not succeed as well. That song does still to me I like it more than I did when I first started like listening to them, but it still reads as fairly corny to me.
Sorry, I'm pulling up the track list and I did not realize that Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance is on one of the songs of this album.
Gerard Way is on one of the songs on this album. He also the dude from Panic at the Disco does a feature on a Every Time I Die song at some point as well.
That's less exciting.
Oh yeah, no, that's fucking just weird, just really weird. Like, their cast list of people that they've had as guest vocalists is like the dude from Dillinger Escape Plan. They had Brent Hines from Mastodon one time, and so it's just like very funny to have that like stacked with Gerard Way and Brandon Urie too. You know?
Yeah. Also, I saw the guy from Glassjaw too.
Oh,
which like that makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not mad at this song.
No, I think it's not really the kind of thing I would go for, but I think I think for me, like,
look, there are so many goddamn perverts on this. Like, this is fight the real enemy. Like,
yeah, I agree in that, like, listening back to this playlist in full today after Mr. Fix-It ended, like, anything could have sounded better to me, and, like, this hitting, I was like, okay, I'm feeling so charitable to this right now. So, like, I will take this shit. I will take this, and honestly, I will probably, like, use this as my excuse to actually finally listen to Every Time, because I have not actually, like, done much of them at all, and so, like, this is, I don't know, this is the thing where I'm like, I'm using this as an opportunity to like get into bands that seem interesting and cool or like formative, and I'm like, it's this or it's like fucking The Amazing Crowds. What am I gonna pick?
Mm-hmm. I'm a hard defender of this album. This album's kind of contentious in the Every Time I Die like fan base. There's a lot of people that don't like this album. I think probably because it's like a little sassier than their other stuff, both before and after this. Like it sits more in that kind of like March, Fear Before the March of Flames and like Blood Brothers like flavor of sort of metalcore. So you're just speaking about happening. And I think that's why I do like it. Like it's their weirdest album. I think it's like their most quote unquote annoying album, which is also why like this song, it sits so strange on this album because it's so fucking straight compared to like other songs on this record.
So yeah, you're basically selling me on this like so well, because like you say annoying, you say sass, you say Blood Brothers. That's my language. That appeals to me. I just wanted to point out the loading screen for this song, which is just a quote: "When playing shows, it's not okay to start a chant for your own band. That's like giving yourself a nickname. Keith Buckley, Every Time I Die."
I think this song has multiple loading screens. Because
Does it really? The wiki I have only...
The one I remember is like, if your band is playing state fairs, it's time to retire or something, attributed to Keith Buckley. Something along those lines. I don't know. It could be different for consoles. I don't know. But yeah, that's the one I remember.
Maybe. Yeah. Anyway, we should move on to the band that we spent a full minute alluding to. Loading screen is half man, half machine. Bang Camaro runs on dude
half
power.
Man is inaccurate. I would say it's maybe a 1,000% man. Oh, Maddie just made a noise.
Because here's the thing with this band is that I feel like this band was like, for the longest time, I just assumed this was like a mass psychosis event amongst the Indie Hits podcast Discord server, not like an actual band that existed.
This is our band, Patty. We're all in it.
Band.
Yeah, we've made jokes about like what bands we belong to just because of bands that don't exist. This is a band that any of us could belong to, just in the sense that like, I'm going to read the musical style and influences section of Bang Camaro's Wikipedia page. The band is comprised of a bassist, a drummer, 2 guitarists, and a lead singer complement drawing from a pool of 8 to 12 vocalists.
That's crazy.
Like, one of the most insane gimmicks you could do for a band is just having a dozen dudes just all yelling the same, like not even harmonizing.
The Bang Camaro polycules at it again.
Yeah, one melody, no harmonies. I mean, this is the stupidest band of all time, but I kind of love it because they. I mean, what can you say if they're not committed to the dumbest gimmick I've ever seen in music?
Well, we were just fucking saying with Raw Dog, right? Like, if you're doing the fucking 80s, like, arena rock revivalism, at least have a fucking shtick.
Yeah.
And they do. They fucking have a shtick, so it's way more fun.
Yeah, they have like 100 guys. Could you imagine how terrible it would be to show up to... I want to sing on Bang Camaro, and they tell you no. Like, it's like the worst feeling on earth.
How badly do you have to, like, vocalize to have that happen?
Yeah. Well, no, so you start to sing a harmony part, and they're like...
Yeah, no, fuck off.
It's too much challenge.
Yeah, this song is also in Peacemaker, and half the comments on this video are about the television show Peacemaker, which is interesting.
To be fair, that is, like, maybe the, like... one of like 2 smart things that James Gunn has ever done is like put this dumbass song in there.
I mean, it's perfect for a dumb comic book TV show with John Cena, like a wrestler in a comic book show. Like, yeah, why not put this bullshit in it? I don't know. Like we've joked about Bang Camaro for I think literally years at this point. Like probably before we even like started this series, because it's a band with 100 guys in it.
Oh, way before. We were talking about like bands that guys that say that modern music sucks. What would you show
what would
them?
They listen to? Yeah,
we got mad. Yeah, we got mad because everyone was like, "Oh, I'd show them like Sufjan Stevens and stuff." They'd hate that shit. You got to show them Airborne. You got to show them Bang Camaro. Yeah. You got to show them Priestess. You got to show them Greta Van Fleet. They're not gonna like your shit, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
get on their level.
What? This is the fun. Like, how do you have a gimmick band after this? This. Like, it's that Birthday Boy skit where it's like a family can be 8 dads or what? A band can be 100 guys singing the exact same melody with 1 guitar player. Like, it's...
Which Indie Heads member do you think would, like, actually join Bang Camaro and make it?
Fuck off, me!
I was gonna say Gavin, right?
Like,
I can see AJ Moser crushing it, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bang Camaro's a band I never really got behind because all their songs sound identical to me, and like I basically only just ever listen to the ones that are in Guitar Hero and Rock Band, because like Pleasure is like very derivative and boring compared to this, where it's like at least this kind of has like the fun guitar parts, like the little rising like pre-verse like riffs, and the solo is pretty fun, but like I don't know. This starts to sound more like a birthing exercise than it does a sex song. Like you're just, can you imagine the Bang Camaro dudes in the maternity ward just like fucking helping the midwife, going push, push.
But it's not to the right meter, so it's still useless.
Yeah.
Honey, I signed you up for Bang Camaro Lamaze. I hope you're excited.
Mr. Show skit where it's just called like the Hard Rock Doctor or some shit, and it's David Cross in the wig. It's the Yola Tango Sugar Cube characters.
I just looked up a photo of Ben Camaro. Is this just like broken social scene for people that like just never turned off classic rock radio or something?
Yes. No, it totally
there are
is.
way more
Maddie,
guys in this band.
Maddie, can I? We post this in the Discord. I'm going to share it to our Twitter chat. But this is not the Upper Crust is not the only harmonics band to appear on Conan O'Brien. I'm pretty sure it's just there's so many Conan connections here. And one of the funniest videos I've ever seen on any talk show is Ben Camaro playing on Conan O'Brien.
Oh God, let's see. Turn this up.
My next guest is from my hometown, Boston, Massachusetts. They are here tonight with a song from
they're okay, that makes sense why they're in this game.
Which goes on sale nationwide next Tuesday.
Who is sending Conan these bands?
Harmonics.
It's just it's just
there's so many people.
Crimson.
Bro, I love the Armed.
Yeah.
Look at my polycule, bro. No one's doing the dishes.
Okay, for a band whose music is like this, like simple, just so simple, there are too many fucking people on this stage.
Well, guess what? They're all singers.
All vocalists.
Yeah.
Do you think they had arguments over if they were gonna do choreography like a boy band or not?
Oh God, no! I
like
think
the one guy wearing a rock band.
Shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. I misspoke. It's not the Crimson. It's the Lampoon that I was thinking of.
This is awesome.
I think I saw Mikey Miles.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what the best bit would be is to go to karaoke one night with like you and your entire posse, and you just pick a Ben Camaro song.
Okay, in this band so far, I have spotted Mikey Miles. I have spotted one of the Pod Johns from Pod Save America.
Taylor Lautner on guitar.
Taylor Lautner. I think I just spotted Brandon Wardell. Ben Camaro feels like it happened because someone set up like a singles group for classic rock fans and only the dudes showed up.
Yes.
I'm just dreading like going on to like a fucking like dating or hookup app and just seeing the profile for Ben Camaro. It's like, it's a package deal. You can't get out of this. It's like, you date one of us, you have to date all 15 of us.
Yeah, dude, there's an Office Max that's just empty of employees during this performance right now.
I was gonna say, this is someone's whole AA meeting. Just as a band. I mean, this may be the best gimmick band ever. Like, this is so fucking funny. Like,
it's
this
so
is awesome.
harmless too. It's just like, let's get like all these dudes in one room, have them sing the same part. It's like, I kind of admire it in its own very dumb way.
Yeah, the gimmick is
every
literally
white guy
just
named
dudes
Craig.
rock.
Yeah, absolutely. The most dudes rock band.
The most dudes rock band.
And of course they're wearing that fucking hat, that fucking like army
the Patrick
hat.
Stump hat.
I was gonna say the guy with the SG looks just like Patrick Stump.
Yes.
It's fucking wild.
Fuck, man. We need to bring the the Gibson Explorer back, man. We need Gibson Explorer rock.
We've got young Michael Myers from Rob Zombie's Halloween on a Rickenbacker bass.
Literally last night, I saw Gorilla Toss in like a 200 cap venue here and got both of my knees fucking destroyed in the pit. But the guitarist who was on Survivor had a fucking like custom like spray painted like Explorer guitar, and I was just like the entire time I'm like, I have that controller. I have that controller.
Pointing at the stage. Yeah, no, I love this band. My bladder is going to explode if I don't go to the bathroom right now. So I love Push Push Lady Lightning is the best Ben Camaro song. This song's boring as fuck. I can't believe they sang it on Conan. Shouts out to Ben Camaro. I'll be right back.
Shouts out to Ben Camaro. Maybe it makes sense to move on to our next song, and we'll let Gavin pick up the conversation. This is one of the ones that like, see, here's the thing, is like, for whatever reason, not a very like metal 12-year-old, didn't really like particularly like a ton of metal. For whatever reason, this like punctured my like dumb little 12-year-old brain. It's All That Remains. It's 6, which is honestly like, the thing is, this is way more of a drum song than it is a guitar song to me. Like, I don't know, that's just kind of their whole thing, is that like them as a band. And I'm trying to remember, because I was trying to pull up their Wikipedia page. I feel like, was it the drummer who's like the mega canceled one, or am I misremembering?
Great question.
I don't know. I mean, I know that a lot of people don't like their vocalist, but I think that's just because he's kind of a fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of ultra canceled motherfuckers from this era of this genre.
Yes.
So it's really hard to even pinpoint what exactly you're talking about.
No. Okay, I pulled up the lead singer's Wikipedia page. He's got a fucking chin strap beard. There's no good can come out of that.
There's also a subsection called political views.
Yeah, stated he's a libertarian, supported Ron Paul, Rand Paul, recurring guest on Tim Pool's podcast.
Yeah,
Jesus
Phil Labonte
Christ.
is, fuck, what's his fucking name? I'm getting two people.
Yeah, Phil Labonte.
Phil Labonte is a piece of shit. I was getting his name confused also with Tim Lambesis, who is also a piece of shit. So,
and it's
every song in the genre just kind of sounds the same to me. This like we have Avenged Sevenfold at home type music.
No, totally. This appealed to the like dumb part of my 12-year-old brain that thought the Bullet for My Valentine was cool.
Oh, that's so much of a better pull. Fucking. This is cousin music. Like, me and Gavin have talked about the cousin manifesto before, but this is like prime to the example capital C cousin music.
Yeah. Dude, one time this is not All That Remains related, but it is Bullet for My Valentine related. One time I at the gym I used to go to back home, something happened to the music player and it played the same Bullet for My Valentine song 6 times in a row.
Jesus Christ. Yes.
And it was one of the worst fucking workouts of my entire life.
Did something happen, or did an employee just decide to, like, wreak their vengeance
I
day?
really have no fucking idea, but it was insane.
I have to imagine it's like, KZ, I don't know if you saw this, but like one of the like fucking underscores like tour behind the scenes videos, there was like a show she played where it was like the crowd was just chanting for God's Plan by Drake, so she just queued it up like 6-7 times in a row.
Awesome.
And that was just like the like hype music the entire time. And that's
the last point in history you could have done that.
Yeah, no, exactly. I don't know. This song is like, it's like, I can see the shape of what appealed to me as like a 12-year-old, but I hear the lyrics and I'm like, this is like the edgiest I hate women shit I've imaginable. I gotta shout out the fact, I don't know if this is shouting out, but mention the fact that mostly the other thing I remember All It Remains for is This Calling, which is a Saw 3 soundtrack staple.
Yep.
Also has one of the most insane drum parts I've ever heard in a song.
Look, this type of music, I just like smell the fumes off a dirt bike, and I like taste Mountain Dew. You know, like this just isn't for me.
No, yeah, that's I think the least appealing flavor of metalcore for me is that like hyper melodic like. Trying to be like smarter than metalcore shit.
Yes.
It never fucking did anything for me.
I would like to point out the album this is on is called The Fall of Ideals, in case you did not get his political ideology enough.
Whoa.
So yeah, we got This Calling, we got It Dwells in Me, we got Whispers parentheses I Hear You, we've got The Weak-Willed, Become the Catalyst, The Air That I Breathe. They put fucking 6 as song 7. These motherfuckers are too dumb to live.
You fucked it.
Yeah, this shit is just like super melodramatic to me. I never fucking liked listening to it. With that said, this was one of my go-to bonus songs in Guitar Hero 2 because I think that like that first riff is really fun to play. Like the speed picked like kind of ascending riff is super fun. It's like hard enough that you feel cool doing it, but easy enough that you can do it pretty reliably. That song's super fun to play, but it comes at the cost of having to listen to it, I fear.
Yeah, I feel like the most damning thing I could say about this is listening back to it today, I realized that they have basically a backing vocal part that's just somebody doing a growl as like a drone, and that pissed me off, and I was like, okay, I decided I don't like this song anymore. Like, come on, be serious here for 2 seconds.
Yeah, this one's not
Gavin,
for me. Not for me. I don't got a lot to say about it. It's not for me.
I think we can move on. We have two more to end off on, and I've given us treats. I don't know. This is these are songs, I guess. This one's gonna be the less intensive conversation, I feel, because this is in the Trogdor camp. This is where we knew people who were like doing shit for Metalocalypse, so why not throw a Dethklok song on here? It's Dethklok Thunderhorse. I had a moment explaining to Abbie the whole Dethklok deal, because I when I was in Illinois this past weekend, ended up at a record store where they had fucking the Death Album 3 on vinyl, and like we were talking about it for a bit, and I was just like, I haven't listened to this band at all beyond like being like a 12-year-old who thought metal was like edgy and scary and weird, and like going back to this, and it was like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Dethklok, because it's like the kind of thing where it's like, if we're talking about like gimmick bands, like this is a thing where it's like you're doing the like black metal, death metal thing like so like thoroughly, but also just doing the most ridiculous shit. And it's like, I don't know, Metalocalypse the show was never for me, but I'm like fascinated by the music itself in a weird way.
Oh, that's so funny, because I have the exact opposite feeling of it. I think the bit works really well in the show, because like having each character be like a characterization of like a specific genre of metal and a kind of metalhead, and then just kind of like making fun of it is really fun. But then when it comes to the music, like it's sort of like the gimmick is that it's straight, like played like melodic death metal, just about stupid shit, and it doesn't work as well for me.
I never watched Metalocalypse as a kid.
Never watched it.
Yeah, we had friends Gavin and I had friends who would just do Roxo, the rock and roll clown impressions.
That's right.
And you hear that like one too many times, and you're like, oh, I'm just never gonna check out the show, am I?
I plan
on watching it. That is like one of the only episodes I watched like routinely as a kid was that one. Like the first Dr. Roxo one.
I was gonna watch it like 2 weeks ago, but apparently they took it off HBO Max, and I'm not about to seek it out anywhere else. So I don't know. This is the only song I know aside from the one in Brutal Legend, and I don't have.
Which one's a Brutal Legend?
The Mermaider.
Yeah.
One. I don't know. I don't know the context of the show, and it just kind of sounds like a Children of Bodom song. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't got beef with it. It exists, and I think it's cool that fans of the show got to play it in Guitar Hero, but that's kind of my take.
My only real relationship to, because I had seen episodes of Metalocalypse, but I wasn't like actively like pursuing Metalocalypse. Like that was a show that would be on like at a friend's house, you know? Like it's Friday night, definitely. I'm at my homie's house, we have the TV on, Metalocalypse is playing. But Dethklok is accidentally the catalyst for like inspiring a lot of like my music taste, because they're how I discovered the band Converge. Because when I was in high school, Mastodon, who I was a big fan of, was going on tour with Dethklok, and opening that tour was Converge. So I was like, I really wanted to go see the show. I didn't wind up going because I didn't have a car, and I didn't really understand how trains worked, and I didn't live close enough to Boston to get into Boston in a reliable way. But I was like researching the show because I was like obsessed with the idea of getting to see Mastodon finally, and I was like, who is this band that's opening? And that's how I discovered Converge, which didn't at the time necessarily like change my fucking life, but like eventually kind of would.
That rocks.
Yeah.
And I guess we have Dethklok to thank for that.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's like running back some of their songs, it's like, I don't know, I could see how it does like get kind of like one note, the idea. And it's like, I think after like sampling a few songs last night, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm ready to like put them to bed for a bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like it's as isolated songs, some of them work better than other. Like the one that we're going to cover when we hit, I think, Warriors of Rokk is like pretty boring all told, because it's just not even that like fun or funny of a song. But it's like, I don't know. I was the kid who like barely watched the show, but like had a few isolated songs on my iPod from like the first Death album, because it was just like basically sampling songs in the previews and would just buy ones indiscriminately that sounded interesting or cool. I don't know. Like I think that honestly, like it peaks for me with like Birthday Death Day on that first album, which is like basically the like pinnacle of like when it gets so stupid it like wraps back around to kind of being funny. And then like by the time you get to the song that we were all like joking about in the record store is fucking I Ejaculate Fire off of the Death album 3, like once you get to that point it's like it's ridiculous as like a kind of like first like impression, but like after a while it's like, who's listening to this just to listen to it? Like what is happening here?
That feels like honestly a synopsis of like comedy music in general, honestly. Like when the point of a song is for it to be funny, I feel like it gets like 3 listens and then you're like, oh, but I'm not connecting with this in any way, and then you just abandon it.
Absolutely.
You've played some Tenacious D songs for me more than 3 times.
All right, we don't speak of them in this household anymore.
No. The lines need to be drawn in Guitar Hero 3.
Once again, Kyle Gass, come onto the pod. We need your side of the story. Like, what's going on? What's going on behind you removing the apology? Like, are you going to dark-sided mode? Come on, we're gonna get some answers.
Kyle Gass, welcome to the #resistance.
That's right.
That's another discussion. We'll get into that when we talk about Tenacious D and Guitar Hero 3 in like half a year at this point.
And who knows what will have happened by that time?
Who knows? Maybe they'll be back to, they'll have an apology. I don't fucking know. And anyway, that's Dethklok. That you get the whole deal. I'm gonna be honest. This entire episode has been built around me realizing I could end it on this. One of the beautiful things about how the Guitar Hero bonus track set list is that it's alphabetical by song name. And so you have, as we talked about, we started the alphabetical run with Arterial Black. And at the very, very, very bottom of the Guitar Hero 2 set list, the last song that you see when you've unlocked every song is a little song by a band called Made in Mexico that we skipped over them when they were in Guitar Hero 1 for their song Farewell Myth, which I'm going to say it, I kind of regret doing it now diving into them more. But this is maybe as soon as I was listening back to bonus tracks and preparing these playlists, I hit this song, which I had never played in my entire like time playing Guitar Hero 2. And I was like, I found gold. This is a beautiful experience we're about to have. This is as the loading screen says, Made in Mexico was made in Rhode Island, the Ocean State. Here's Made in Mexico. Here's Yes We Can. Maddie, I have to know, have you heard this before?
No.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh boy. All right. Put the phone down. Let's hear this.
Let's lock in.
All right. Oh, what is this? This.
Do you like this riff?
This sounds like one of those videos where like somebody. It sounds like he's intentionally missing the notes.
It sounds like one of the Shreds videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ricky Republican, welcome to Guitar Hero.
So I gotta be quiet. There's literally a baby sleeping upstairs from me, so I gotta be be quiet. But it's really tough when I'm listening to this. What the fuck is this? This sounds like the Shags. What the fuck?
The joy that I had when I heard this for the first time, it was like, this is the song. This is the song. Like, it's this.
Is it even possible to fail this song?
No, I mean maybe if you like suck, but like it has a reputation for being one of the easiest songs in Guitar Hero history. Like, just truly just nothing happening. It's just the same ascending riff, and then there's like a midsection, and that's really it.
This song makes me like scared because like I like when I had my radio show, like I definitely played stuff that like probably wasn't that off from this, and I'm like, when I played this on the radio, is this what people were hearing and not what I heard? like what is this?
There's something so very Suburban Lawns about this, and that's why I dig it.
Yeah,
the guitarist is desperately trying to save this on stage, by the way. Fucking windmilling and shit. Like,
I have more, but I need other people to dig it.
I just love that this is in Guitar Hero. I mean, it's what an amazing poll to put in this video game.
I've had a fucking journey with this song where at first I was like one of those things where I was like, oh, this is terrible, like, let me laugh at it. And it doubled back into being like, not like thinking that the song is good, but just being like, this is like the ballsiest move to pull, is like throwing this at the very bottom of the set list as a like, you have this after like multiple metal songs. And it's like, this is the thing that you like close off your game on. Fun fact, this had not yet been released on an album. This was just a thing that like they pulled from the band. It took 2 years after this game came out for it to hit an album.
Oh, that's fucking
awesome. They had
awesome.
to keep perfecting it.
Yeah. I'm just looking at Maddie's face right now.
These drums are terrifying. This is like the whole marching band vibes. Just
See, I like the drums.
vibes.
The drums are the best part.
It's a slow descent into hell. Fun fact, the album version of this opens with a meme air horn.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's good.
See, that's the thing, is that like the rhythm section, like the bass and drums sound really good, and like it's like I can imagine like this is like I can imagine this being like a Palm song, like somewhere between like a Palm song or like Gorilla Toss, but the guitar is just so like bad. It's like
the thing is that
it's like so purposely like out of tune and like stilted. Like again,
this is probably what my
Shags comparison
boyfriend
is
hears
not...
when I'm listening to Devo, you know?
No, literally, Grant. Oh my god.
I love this. This is hysterical. Like, imagine getting your dad and telling him, "Hey, you want to play this game? It's got Freebird and Alice Cooper in it," and handing him the controller, and this is loaded up.
I just keep thinking "Si se puede," like in intermittent times. It's gotten to the point now where it's like, if we're in the house at the same time and I'm thinking about Guitar Hero, I'll just like call out across the house "Si se," and Abbie will yell back "Puede."
Barack Obama played this game and suddenly his eyes were opened up and the way emerged.
Yeah. KZ, I'm so glad you got to experience. We saw you experience this in real time as we were planning this.
Yes, yeah, it was amazing.
Well, so I definitely played this song once, because like I played at least like every song in Guitar Hero at least once. And I definitely heard it and never played it again. So I forgot it outright, and just right away, it's such a fucking experience, you know. It was panic inducing, like genuinely. Like I felt like I was going fucking crazy.
No, yeah, this is one of those things where I had to like I became like obsessed after hearing this, because I'm just like, the thing is, you could throw me the most technical, impressive shit imaginable, and it's like, that's fine. That's all fine and good. I'm interested in things like this where it's just like shit that you have to delve into. And so I took the fucking dive this week. I listened to both of the Made in Mexico albums, the only two that they made, because they were only really like active until like the early 2010s. I was surprised to find out that I liked the first one. The first one is basically like, it feels like the missing link between like the Kim Gordon led like Sonic Youth stuff in the 90s, like early 90s, and like funny that you mentioned it, like the really early like noisy Gorilla Toss like records. And I was just like, I was into that because it was like the sound is like, it's like the production and the sound on that are pretty cool, and that's why I was like, okay, Farewell Myth, I'm sorry I doubted you. you're kind of cool.
Can we listen to Farewell Myth really quick? I'm just curious what it sounds like if it's any better than this.
And then Gorillaton, the second album that this is on, is basically just kind of like a piss take version of like it's basically like the noise rock version of like I listened to reggaeton for the first time and this is like what came out. I shouldn't say that necessarily because I'm not sure what the band's like personal background is, but it's so derivative. It's basically like the same kind of like very basic like reggaeton intro to reggaeton music.
Natalie, you're now making me think about like if there's a DJ Hero equivalent of Clone Hero, and then someone trying to like translate like a DJ Ramen Successo song to like DJ Hero or something. Like that would be incredible.
That would be cool. But yeah, it has this little like intro thing that gets into.
Okay, cool little intro. I dig it. Okay, so this just sounds like just like standard. Wait. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right, like I said, like mini a no wave band, incredible rhythm sections, questionable guitar parts, but I think this works a lot more than Made in Mexico.
Yeah, I think it's the tone of the guitar works a lot better for this brand of like no wave noise rock than it does for like the particular kind of like weirdo riff on reggaeton that they're doing on that album.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Yes We Can so much more.
The funny thing about you mentioning twice now that like the rhythm section is so much stronger than the guitar work is that the guitar player in Made in Mexico has the most prestige of all of the people in the band.
That's crazy.
But
that makes sense. It makes sense that you've mastered the guitar, so you have to do the opposite.
Spiraling out of control moment listening to Yes We Can, that the guitar player in Made in Mexico was previously in a very iconic Providence-based noise rock band called Arab on Radar that was like very influential on like the noise rock scene.
Who I have never gotten into, and like honestly the thing that I'm kind of like interested in doing now is like going back to that, considering that was like the most recent thing for this first album. Zodiac Zoo is like clearly pulling from that. The only other interesting thing I found here is apparently on their website they make a claim to fame that apparently Thurston Moore saw them play at a bar once and bought them a drink.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Like, this sounds somewhere in the middle of like Sleater Kinney and like the really early Health stuff, like when Health was still like a no wave band. And I mean that as a compliment. Like this is actually kind of sick. I actually kind of dig this song.
Yeah, this album is solid. I think if you're going to do anything from them, it's this. Like, Gorillaton is like, I don't know. It was just, it got on my nerves. Like this album, like Zodiac Zoo, I like found myself like enjoying it all the way through. Gorillaton, I got to Yes We Can, and I was like, there's still half the album left. I don't know if I can make it.
Yeah, I cannot stress enough that no amount of this band has a noise rock legend in it makes Yes We Can less insufferable. It's
I love Yes We Can.
An absolute nightmare.
I love it.
Yes We Can sounds like you are stuck in the stock room at a guitar center. Like everybody is playing something different, and all of them are doing it fairly poorly.
Every guy from Camaro is trying to play a different song in Guitar Center.
I was gonna say because I mentioned it in the Twitter chat for this, because this is basically like Yes We Can to me is like if you intentionally tried to do the RZA Guitar Center beat but for guitar.
Yes.
KZ, do you know what I'm talking about? The RZA Guitar Center video.
No.
All right, yeah, we're gonna pull this up. Yeah, we're gonna pull this up.
Have to watch that.
Yeah, we have to watch this.
Yeah,
I think this is like the third or fourth time we've introduced this video to a guest on this podcast.
This is a beautiful experience.
All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna just make a beat from scratch. Something I do with this machine. You can do it in your car, on the plane. You hear that? So that's the tempo, right?
On the plane.
So now what I would do is come here, choose a sound. Boom, sound. Okay.
Just the confidence,
So I'll take that sound, let's go
like
track two.
doing this completely with a straight face.
Another sound real quick. Let's just go underground bass.
Got it. Underground bass.
Okay.
Imagine showing this to like a producer and trying to get the like this is the sound I want for my track.
Quantize the 8 and just make it go tighter. See it
Quantize the 8.
Got it. Okay. Track 3. Track 3 is empty. Come back up here to my sounds again. We did. And sounds are like.
This is awesome. I'm just trying to imagine anybody from Wu-Tang Clan.
The fucking Futurama doorbell chime.
Yeah, Futurama.
Alright, so then you kind of really make it like have that modern sound. I'm just gonna add a little hi-hat.
Give it a modern hi-hat. The modern normal hi-hat.
From modern music, so we say. So,
modern normal hi-hat.
Something like that. Right, that's cool. So something like that. I'll just probably roll it on there.
This sounds like it would be like a creepypasta about a Taco Bell commercial.
RZA makes the most cursed beat in existence, and it somehow like makes the Guitar Center guitars come alive and kill you in the night.
This is gonna be like me doing like a self call out. This doesn't sound like all that different between like the music that Doug plays between like Tagabo songs when they play live. Like this doesn't sound that different between songs.
Cool, man.
Arnie said.
Samoa Joe entrance music.
I hope people. There was a time where this kept getting pulled from YouTube. I hope that this just constantly goes up all the time.
That,
like,
yeah.
Nobody.
Can't beat that.
Daisy Two guys.
Somebody else can plug into yours, and this could go on. And so, say you ever get into a situation where you
stupid fucking concept for headphones. Why not just play it on the speaker if everyone has to daisy chain their headphones together?
And she's like, "Honey, check this out." And she got to take the headphones off and put it on your ear.
This is a Cinco product.
Mine's you just plug right into it. I love it. Plug things, Nick.
I like how he's explaining how headphones work.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Let's see.
Wait, so that whole thing wasn't even an ad for the fucking the mixer. It was a
no. It was for the headphones.
That's awesome. That's so sick.
I didn't even know that. I didn't realize that like what this was. I assumed it was advertising like the beat maker. I didn't realize it was for the fucking headphones.
I'm just gonna assume it was intended as an ad for the beat maker, and then they watched the footage and were like, "We can't do this."
That makes it sound like shit. But daisy chaining the headphones is pretty sick.
Yeah, that's great.
That saves it. Oh my god. This is what I hear in my head when you said the Guitar Center thing, and I think that's kind of the beautiful range of these bonus songs is you can have some of the most beautiful songs that we've heard, some of the most joyous things in our lives, and then we hear Yes We Can, which maybe gives you joy. I don't know. It gives me like a weird perverse sense of joy. I don't know how I feel about
it's better
the song.
than Mr. Fix It.
It's better than Mr. Fix It.
I need you to put the RZA beat of the RZA beat. I need you to put it in Clone Hero now.
Oh yeah.
God.
Somebody doing a custom DJ Hero chart for the.
Oh my god! It reminds me. There's these video of Dev Lemons of like recreating songs like while having her computer muted. Like this sounds like that. It sounds like one of those.
So stylish, baby, she's all gone. Shut down, yeah. Looking like that con. Work angles, yeah. 360. When you're in the mirror, do you like what you see? When you're in the mirror.
Come on. We got to get Ricky Republican to hop on a Made in Mexico track.
I got bad news for you.
That's true.
Before we went down our RZA Guitar Center beat, I was gonna see what a Shag's Clone Hero chart looked like because I did find one for my pal Footfoot.
Wow, pro drums.
Oh, it's for the drums. Okay, it's for the drum. But still,
which is honestly just as interesting.
Sorry, visual bit on an audio podcast,
This is
but
probably like legit kind of hard to do as like a like drummer.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's so bad that it's kind of impossible to figure out what the fuck you're supposed to be doing.
This album is good. I dig this album quite a lot.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because I don't know. The thing about Made in Mexico is they're too technical for me to consider them like outsider art, especially because like that first album I think is genuinely kind of accomplished. So, I don't know. It's like it's that weird thing of like outsider art that's not outsider art, and so it kind of occupies a weird territory where I can't really fully commit to it as like a. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is honestly impressive.
Shout out to the Clone Hero community.
Yeah.
God.
All right.
Well
They're
then,
every day.
let's start to wrap this sucker up.
Yeah. This is I think we've exhausted everything that we've done. We've said yes we can. We've said si se puede to everything that this playlist has thrown at us. And so I think it's time to give it a rest. We're giving Guitar Hero 2 one of the most beautiful games in human existence a rest. We thank you again, KZ, for hopping on this legendary, like bizarre just marathon recording.
Yeah, for sure. It was my pleasure.
Do you have anything you want to I mean, I know Dreamwell's coming off the album from last year, but do you have anything else you want to plug? I think you said you're like kind of the touring is calming down, so I feel like it's kind of we caught you at a time where there's like not really much going on.
Yeah, come see us in fucking November. It's
November.
Yeah, bad timing. We're gonna be going on tour in the South in November. That's what I got.
Hell yes.
Hey, this November, skip the polling place and get to the Dreamwell shows. That's
right.
That's what we say.
You can't do anything with a vote that you can't just scream your guts out in the pit.
Or they can set up a polling place at the show so you can do your civic duty while listening to good music.
Boo. In the words of Orchid, who I saw with Dreamwell at Prepare the Ground in June, don't vote, kill. Don't vote, kill. Don't vote, kill.
We need to get some of these young people to blight down beat Donald Trump at the ballot.
Hey, that's a t-shirt.
It's the crossover you need.
Yeah.
But before we wind down, we've been doing a little thing that we ask everybody as fans of Guitar Hero and people familiar with it. This is your space, this is your platform. If you had the power to put any song in Guitar Hero any point in time, what would you put?
I do have actually. I used to do the Rock Band like submit a song thing like for the DLC.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh yes, me too.
There was a band that was my introduction to local music. They were all like upperclassmen in my high school. They were in like a very like Kill Switch Engage core band called Chaos Before Creation. It was They were my first local show at a boxing gym in Whitman, Massachusetts. And their guitar player, Jeff Daigle, was genuinely very, very good. And so I always thought it would be cool if one of their songs was in one of these games. So I can't remember the name of the song now, but a song by Chaos Before Creation from Whitman/Hanson, Massachusetts, circa 2004.
Hell yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, no. If you remember the specific one, send it to me. I've been like kicking around the idea of putting together like a playlist of everything that our guests have been saying, and like just putting together like a little snapshot of like what people are bringing to the table. But that's wild. I didn't realize that they were like basically like you like grew up with them, because I feel like I've heard that band name kicked around a lot, like locally.
Yeah, probably. They were like a little kind of like they were trying to sing. They had like an electric violin player. In their band, and he was also really good. Their drummer was fucking sick. Yeah, they were my introduction to local music. So that was like the first time I realized like, oh, like you can just be in a band and you can play at these kind of random weird little spaces. You don't have to have like a clout or a following or whatever to participate in music. That's pretty cool. So I always thought it would be cool if they kind of continued to honor the fucking showcasing local bands thing and put one of their songs in there.
Hell yeah. Abbie, do you have a pick, or should we just move on?
I'm gonna say It Ain't Necessarily So by Grant Green, although good luck getting the stems for that one.
We've been getting some like interesting variety. We had some like jazz picks last week, and that was a really cool like alternative to some of the more like heavy stuff that had been kicked around. But
I will say on the submit a song form, I was on those every day before Rock Band 3 dropped, submitting Just Like Heaven by The Cure quite literally every single day for a couple of months, and then it ended up in the game. So I'm not going to say I directly did that, but I will take the credit
for
it.
Sure.
You did that, Grant.
Yes,
I did do
Congrats.
that. And if they were to make a new one, I'm not allowed to say the song I would want in it, but it's a certain song about a brand of deodorant. If you know, you know.
Indians podcast listeners, we'll get there eventually. It's just going to take us. It'll take us like probably 8 months so we to get to that episode.
Join the Discord in the meantime if you want in on the know.
If you want to learn about my new best friend.
Of course.
Yeah.
And just before we go, we want to thank the rest of our Patreon supporters. And these are Jason Daphnis, Kevin Cookman, Nato, Robin Parlow, Eric Chow, Josh, Holiday Kirk, Tyrone Shuhan, Janam Johnny, Alexis Davin, Cody Gagan, Barely March, Vicky LaFleur, Will Griffin, Corbin Camage, Gavlin, Matthew, Ethan Sapir, Kevin Begar, Matthew McPherson, Randy Donaldson, Eleanor Grams, Elizabeth King, Will for Thrill, GRS420, Lily, Jacqueline Kataga, Alec Felder, Talks of Trees, Molly O'Brien, AJ Moser, Eraser Eye Baby, Matthew Herring, Jack Tiggleman, Sarah L., Jeremy Bull, Alex Grishmanoff, and Derek Pemberton. Thank you to everyone, including all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for continuing to support this podcast and make great series like Pod Hero happen. So let's finish up the episode.
But yes, thank you, KZ, thank you, Abbie, for hopping on. Thank you, Grant, for coming back. We're closing the book on Guitar Hero 2. This is not yet the last harmonics venture that we're doing, and to close out the first season of Pod Hero, we're talking about a little somewhat neglected kind of cash-in last-minute thing that happened right at the tail end of the PS2 era. So next time we're going to get into Guitar Hero Encore Rocks the 80s. One of the most beguiling things that this franchise has done. And we'll talk about how this ended up being less than ideal last note for harmonics in this franchise before everything kind of went upended, and then the entire look and feel of the franchise changed. So thanks for rocking out with us, and tune in next time.